How's it going? My name is Stacy and I work at Lowe's. Get a jump on your summer to-do list with unbeatable savings. Right now, choose 18-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more when you use your Lowe's consumer credit card. Plus, come in and get 15% off Energy Star appliances or 10% off all other major appliances priced $397 or more. Start your summer with savings this weekend at Lowe's. Lowe's. Let's build something together. Offers valid 5/26/11 to 5/30/11. Special financing cannot be combined with 5% off everyday credit offers. See store for details.
Blog Talk Radio.
And there it is.
There it is.
Need a little bass guitar.
There's no guitar there. That's nothing but a Casio.
You're playing some air drums for us
this
week?
Yes, I am.
Air drums courtesy of Beans.
You best turn this thing off. Dear God, you best turn this thing off.
All right, we'll turn it off.
Oh,
okay.
I hear the lawyers calling.
Yes, it's welcome to the show, Frank Unicorn Radio program.
And as usual, we have lawyers calling.
Yes, it's Sunday night, 7 p.m. That means it's time for Frank Unicorn, and it's the Frank Unicorn Radio program.
It is.
Of course, as always.
I is.
You is.
I is.
You is. The lovely Beans is with us. Our co-host Beans. We have our producer with us as well. Lovely producer is producing for us and taking care of all your tweets. We're taking your calls as well today live on our 1-800 number, 877-404-0838. You can reach us on Twitter at Frank the Unicorn, and, of course, you can reach us also via email if you're kicking it really super
That
old
would
school.
be show@franktheunicorn.com.
That would be. And
I remembered it this week.
You did, and after only months of making fun of that. All right.
Hey.
So it's 2011.
It's
a new decade, or if you're British, decade. You can laugh out loud. It's all right.
I don't know that I can. I would if it was funny.
Ha-ha. All right. Wow, like 2 minutes in, Letterman makes an appearance. Okay, so
I was going for James Lipton. But okay.
we're hoping that 2011 is going to be a better year for everyone collectively than 2010. 2010 was a little bit rough. Actually, the whole previous decade was a little bit rough and kind of sucky.
The aughts.
Yeah, the aughts.
Now we're in the teens.
Yeah, the aughts weren't good. So hopefully would that make this 2011 teen?
Yes.
Yeah. Hopefully it makes this next decade better. Although, again, 2011, there's no Machete. We're not going to have Machete released in theaters, so we don't know that there's going to be a Seagal film.
But we'll have Machete released on digital versatile disc and Blu-ray.
Yes, and that actually would be Tuesday.
I'm very excited about that.
I'm very excited about that as well, because apparently there's alternate storylines and such.
You're darn tootin'
and a ton of bonus material, so we'll get to see a lot more killing.
The more Seagal accent I can get, the happier I'm going to be.
I'm just going to watch the end scene over and over again with Seagal, just for the...
Well, let's not give that away for those who haven't seen it, which, judging by the box office, is everybody.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it does well on DVD. It's just us this week. Now, last week we had a really rowdy show because we had our good friends Bushwood were in the studio, so we want to thank them.
Terrific.
They were terrific. We want to thank them again, and we're going to definitely be seeing those guys again real soon.
They're out killing all the golfers.
We want everyone to check them out, bushwoodband.com, and make sure you go out and see those guys live because they're great. And it struck me a little bit how much Steve looked like Seth Rogen.
Yeah, I can see that.
There were some photos that we took, some of the pictures we took, and in certain angles in some of those photos, it was like, wow, this guy, he really looks like Seth Rogen.
I can see there's a little Seth Rogen going on there.
Yeah, but really, really cool dude, great guys, so we want to thank them again.
So the current Seth Rogen, the fit Seth Rogen.
Right, yes.
Not quite the disheveled Seth Rogen of years past.
Right, exactly, yeah, the new Seth Rogen, right?
Seth Rogen 2.0.
2.0.
The Green Hornet Seth Rogen.
There you go. So that's, basically that was a huge deal last week with having them in the studio doing the broadcast. We had a live studio audience, basically. Mm-hmm. We had a bunch of fans of Bushwood. Some girls had come in. That was fun. But now, just you and I. So this week, the show is going to be a bit more intimate, which is good because we have some. That's right. We have some. Beans is touching me. We have some intimate segments coming up.
Because we're intimate folk.
That's right. We're gonna talk about what we're watching, and we've got some good stuff on that. We're gonna touch on 10 products that you're not gonna want to buy in 2011 that are gonna be a waste of money. So we'll talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
We've got.
Can we just skip right to the sex thing?
Well, hold on, wait. As many.
I want to dim the lights and light a candle.
You may think that's the first time I've had someone say that to me. No, sir, it's not. Anyway, so yeah, we'll get to the sex thing. Just hold on for a second. We're gonna talk about a lot of sex today on the show. All right. But before that, we're gonna talk about we've got a great beans list. I'm really looking forward to this one. This is movie stars who attempted to become rock stars or make records and become famous musicians.
Yep.
That is fertile ground for us.
Turns out it is.
We expect a lot of feedback on that. We've also got our local music segment this week. We've got a local musician named Ed Wainwright. He's kind of a do-it-all musician, so we'll have him on. That'll be good.
Good, because I want to know if he's related to Rufus Wainwright.
Well, you can find out. We'll ask him. We've got our How Unicorn Are You segment. We're going to follow that with the top 25 sex scenes in cinema history. We're gonna talk about sex scenes. We're going to talk about sex.
Oh, yes, we are.
And I'm sure this is what everybody really is interested in for the show. So it's going to happen. You just got to stick around a little bit. That's something we're going to touch on. Of course, we've got our This Week in Bacon. We've got some interesting developments in the world of bacon. Apparently, human flesh has been identified as tasting like bacon. We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't get scared. And then we've got a little bit of Nicolas Cage as well towards the end of the show. We're going to finish out the show with some Nicolas Cage.
I think you just said okay to cannibals.
What the hell you're thinking? It's not that. It involves robots. So it's a little more complicated. It involves robots and people. You'll see. You have to stick around for that segment. It's going to be a good This Week in Bacon.
So
Trust me.
Skynet thinks we taste like bacon.
There's a robot, and again, I don't want to. We're going to blow the segment here, but there's a robot.
You're just frightening me, and
there's been a robot. There's been a taste test, and apparently bacon.
Really want to know where they got their sample, but we'll get to that.
Apparently, human flesh tastes just like bacon. Okay, 877-404-0838.
I would think that depends how you prepare it.
I think. Well, all right. We're on Twitter at Frank the Unicorn, and of course, show at franktheunicorn.com. So let's talk about real quick what we're watching. We'll just go right into that segment. Now, personally, this week, this is a tough week for movies and for film and such because
I saw a damn good movie this week. So
go ahead.
Well, no, you go ahead.
Well, all right. Because and again, it's a tough week for television, for movies, that sort of thing. Because it's the end of the year, it's the holidays. Everyone's thinking of going out. They're not really thinking of necessarily watching these things. So you get a lot of marathons.
Yep.
You mentioned there was a Twilight Zone marathon.
There was.
I saw that.
I was waist deep in the Twilight Zone yesterday.
I caught a couple Twilight Zones, and it was the good ones. It was the 1950s ones. It was the old ones. So it was the ones that are worth watching.
And there were some good 80s ones too. Don't knock that show.
Yeah, but I mean, when you get that many of them, it's
just saying there were some damn good 80s ones.
There were, but the 50s ones are better, and that was what the marathon was. So it was a little more exciting. But watched a couple things. I watched Get Into the Greek finally this week.
I still haven't
Which
seen
you
it.
haven't seen, so we can't even really get into it.
We'll talk about it. I just haven't seen it yet.
I don't want to get into it.
I'm not really worried about spoilers.
I'll just say this. I was very surprised in that Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, funniest part of the whole movie. Steals the movie from Russell Brand and Jonah Hill.
That terrifies me in many ways.
He actually was really, really funny. Really funny. Really likable, really funny. Enjoyed him a lot. Not the biggest fan of the music, right? But dude was hilarious. Had a line about Carlton that was just classic.
Okay.
You're just shaking your head at me.
Well, I just haven't seen it yet.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But I will.
It's one of those that's kind of tough to discuss.
I will put it on my list.
Yeah. Although, unfortunately, no mesh shirts for Russell Brand in this film.
That's a shame.
No mesh. Yeah. All right, anyway. Although there's a great little sideways there that he gives a little shout-out. There's a little Kristen Bell cameo that...
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was pretty much a sequel to Forgetting Sarah Marshall, wasn't it? Isn't he playing the same character?
The same character, yeah. I guess you could consider it a
spin-off.
Sequel. You could consider it a sequel, although it would have to be many years in the future because, so the timeline doesn't work on it, so it's,
It's a different character.
It's the same character. It's Aldous Snow.
Aldous Snow, but Jonah Hill's character.
Well, Jonah Hill's character is a different character, but who cares? He was just a guy that worked at he was really funny in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, but he was just the guy that worked at the hotel. He wasn't central to the plot where he is in this film.
So is it like City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold? You just have all of a sudden someone who looks exactly like another character pops up?
No.
No?
No. Anyway, all right. They don't even address.
I can't compare Jonah Hill to Jack Palance.
They don't even address the fact that it's the same exact. That essentially the two characters have the exact same DNA. They don't even go into that. It's just
Maybe I just like saying The Legend of Curly's Gold.
I think you do. It's not a big plot point in the movie. It's just, again, it's like a little sideways kind of throw in where they acknowledge it, and and they have a funny little trailer that they make with Sarah Marshall and Rick Schroeder in a new you know, I guess it's like a medical drama where she's blind, and anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, give us yours. What were you?
I went and saw The Fighter, which was a damn good movie with Marky Mark and Christian Bale. I know he's a serious actor these days. He doesn't want to go by Marky Mark, but let's be honest, he's Marky Mark.
He always will be Marky Mark.
But he
so long as he is associated with the Funky Bunch, he shall be.
But it was a really good flick, and I have to ask a question of our listeners about Christian Bale. For those who have seen the movie, Christian Bale plays a crack addict, and he seems to be a very method kind of guy. So I want to know what the over-under is on him having actually smoked a big fat bag of crack to prepare for the character. Because, for one thing, if you've never seen Christian Bale smile, you actually will in this movie, because he plays just kind of a goofball crackhead. And he's great. It was like 10 minutes in before it even clicked with me, like, holy crap, that's Christian Bale.
He wasn't yelling at anyone about the sound or the lighting or anything?
He wasn't telling anyone they're done professionally.
No?
No, but he was just a goofball crackhead, and he was really good at it. I was very impressed with his crackonomics.
I'm sure that at some point in his life, Christian Bale knew that he was going to aspire to be a
Can we hashtag
goofball.
crackonomics?
We can hashtag crackonomics. I'm sure he aspired to be a goofball crackhead. That's
he was darn good.
Perhaps he called Samuel Jackson to get advice on how to do it.
I will not be surprised to hear his name mentioned in Oscar season. Let's just put it that way. He was really that good.
And how about Marky Mark? Was he?
He was Marky Mark. Better than he was in The Happening. Everything wasn't a question again. I really can't figure out why everything he says is a question in that movie. This is The Happening, by the way, for those of you who are ill-advised to sit through it.
Why you want to see?
I actually went and saw it in a theater, I'm sad to say.
Good Lord. Well, I'm sad to say that too.
Yeah.
I'm sad to hear that. That's throwing away money. All right.
I'd have been better off paying the Funky Bunch to just come over to the house and hang out.
That's true. And you probably
would have cost the same.
It probably would have cost the same. Yeah, it might have been a little bit less to get the Funky Bunch.
Yeah.
877-404-0838. If you were a member of the Funky Bunch, you can let us know that on
Or
Twitter.
if you sold crack to Christian Bale, this is the time to call.
Yes, if you are the guy that sold crack, if you're the intermediary, because I'm pretty sure. Well, no, Christian Bale's, like you say, he's method. He would actually grunge up, go down, and probably hang out in a crack house. You know, it would be great if we had an episode of Lawman where Seagal breaks into a crack house and finds Christian Bale. And I'm just preparing for a role.
Then they could have some dueling accents going on.
That would be fantastic. Although Christian Bale has a legitimate accent. He's an English guy. He's British.
Yeah.
Right? So
he's Welsh.
He's Welsh. Okay, so he's got a legit accent. It's like a real thing. He just happens to be a good enough actor to hide it and cover it. Seagal is just confused.
And the movie was set in Lowell, Mass. in the 80s. So everyone's got those thick Massachusetts accents.
Yeah.
Melissa Leo plays the mom, and she's got a great accent, and it's just.
I'm pretty sure that whenever an actor nowadays has to prepare for that, you know, they want to try to prepare for that Boston accent. They just watch Good Will Hunting.
Probably. Conan O'Brien's sister is in the flick, and something horrifying. She looks exactly like Conan O'Brien.
Are you sure it's not just Conan O'Brien pulling one over on us like with a wig? And
for a minute, I thought it was, but no, it's his actual sister. But it's kind of scary how they have the exact same face.
It's hilarious. Does she have like the red hair too?
Not the beard, but yes. She's got the red hair.
Wow.
And she's just the same face.
You know what's really funny? His sidekick, right?
Andy?
Same exact thing.
Same exact thing as what?
Sister looks exactly like him.
Does she? I didn't even know he had a sister.
I have no idea.
Okay. You're just making stuff up.
I'm making it up as I go along.
You just created a sister of whole cloth for Andy Richter.
That's right. I cut her out of whole cloth. Huge cloth, by the way.
Big cloth.
Really big cloth.
That's not nice.
It's not. 877-404-0838 or on Twitter at
Andy's
Frank
awesome.
Unicorn.
That's not cool.
It is. All right. We're sorry, Andy. We apologize, but we don't. Okay.
You should be sorry. You should be the one to. I didn't say anything bad about Andy.
I didn't either. I just said he had a sister that looked like him.
You know he controls the universe.
I know. Well, I've heard that, but
at least for a bit of a season.
I was going to say for about 13 episodes that got canceled. All right. Did it make it 13?
I have no idea, but
I think
funny.
it was like there was like 9 episodes of that show.
Something like that.
All right. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about 10 products not to buy in 2011.
Let's do that.
Because at the top of that list, in reality, at the top of that list would probably be Andy Richter Controls the Universe on DVD.
No, that's a very funny show.
Well, but why would you buy it? 9 episodes. How hard is that to...
Well, there were a few that didn't air. I think it was like 13 episodes or something like 15, something on that.
So are we officially endorsing Andy Richter Controls the Universe?
Absolutely, that show was hilarious.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so go buy it on DVD.
There are great
then.
shows that didn't last long.
Okay. Well, of course there are. I mean, you know what? We couldn't have had a few more seasons of Sabrina the Teenage Witch? Give me a break. I mean, you know.
Or Twin Peaks or Sports Night or
Twin Peaks.
A lot of good things.
No.
Are you knocking Twin Peaks right now?
I'm saying that Twin Peaks, unfortunately, the first season was so great, nothing could have lived up to it, and the way it ended was just terrible.
Wasn't their fault. They got canceled before they had an ending.
I'm just waiting for you to watch the rest of Lost so you can try to defend that one.
I have no desire to defend that one.
It's dog plop. Just watch the
sure
last episode, and that's all you need to know about how bad and how it ends.
I'm sure that's true, but I will not have someone defiling Twin Peaks.
Okay, all right.
On my show, mister.
All right, so let's do this. Let's instead defile the 10 items you should not waste money on in the upcoming new year. Now, some of these, this one has a funny name. Some of these have funny names, but you got to stick with us on this. This one is Mr. Steamy. That's what it's called. Now, when you hear Mr. Steamy, it could sound like it might be, right, something that maybe would be a little risque.
I just kind of figured it was sponsored by Grey's Anatomy.
No, that would be Mr. Mick Steamy.
Ah.
But and actually, you could have one of those. You just make it's essentially what it is. It's a plastic or rubberized ball-looking thing that you put in your dryer, and it's supposed to prevent your clothes from wrinkling.
It looks like that thing Superman came to Earth in the first movie.
It does. Although you could make one of these with Patrick Dempsey's face, and then just have at Mr.
Oh,
Mick
you meant
Steamy.
with his face on it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this lumpy ball thing. I'm like, what are you saying about Patrick
No.
Dempsey?
And then it's Mr. Mick Steamy, and you just
what do you have against celebrities today?
I don't. All right. Anyway, it's a de-wrinkling dryer ball. Okay, is what it's supposed to do. Apparently, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
But it's a revolutionary dryer ball with the power of steam.
You still have to iron all your clothing. It doesn't make a darn bit of difference. It's a waste of $20 is what it is. So Mr. Steamy is the first one. Although, you know, it's an as-seen-on-TV product, so what? It doesn't work.
So none of those have ever been good.
Well, that's not true. Remember, the Snuggie was a big hit.
Like I said.
All right. Jupiter Jack, $10. This gadget promises to route your phone or MP3 player through your car stereo so you can talk hands-free without a headset. Of course, it gets terrible reception, and you can't possibly hear your call very clearly at all.
I can't even tell what that's supposed to plug into.
I can't tell what that's supposed to plug into either. And, again, I think this is another as-seen-on-TV product that just looks like it's a failure.
Jupiter Jack also sounds like a Chris O'Donnell movie.
It does, doesn't it? It sounds like a sequel to Pluto Nash.
Oh, please don't. Please don't. I saw Pluto Nash. Please don't.
That's your fault, sir.
Rosario Dawson.
Nah, Jay Moore. All right.
Rosario Dawson.
Okay. Next on the list, we've got the Jaguar XF. Now, this is a $54,000 luxury car, and they say that it's extremely unreliable and bad. I would say this.
But it's a Jaguar.
Right, which is made by Ford. So.
But pretty.
Yeah.
Shiny.
If you got
sparkles.
Look, if you've got $54,000 to throw away on a car,
which I don't, but if I did, right. I'd be pretty tempted by the Jaguar.
Really? Because I mean, I would think there were so many other cars you could get for that money that would.
But it's such a good-looking car.
All right.
All I care about is the Flash.
This is how these products persist.
I know.
All right.
I'm not helping anybody here.
I thought the Flash.
I say go for the Jaguar.
I thought Superman was your favorite.
Ba-dum-bum.
All right. The Andrea Air Purifier. Not only does
Air Purifier my butt. That's a hydroponics lab right there.
It's retail price $200. Not only does the design leave much to be desired, it kind of looks like a urinal with a plant in it.
It sure does.
It did not clean the air.
So is that plant
doesn't even
supposed to?
I guess I have no idea. It doesn't even look like it could do anything.
It looks like something that's plugged in Swamp Thing's rec room.
Swamp Thing wouldn't even have that. Swamp Thing would have the common sense not to buy this.
I imagine Swamp Thing wouldn't have a rec room, but if he did, I bet that.
I have no problem with Swamp Thing having a rec room. Swamp Thing, people seem to forget.
Swamp Thing's rec room would be a good name for a band.
Swamp Thing's rec room would be a good name for a band. Swamp Thing was a cool guy. He was a scientist. I mean, he was a very smart individual prior to becoming a hideous plant monster, and he got to see Adrienne Barbeau. That's nice.
In the European version, yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
I'm very proud to own that on DVD.
Wow.
I got that before they pulled it off shelves. I was very excited.
Thumbs up, dude.
I had no idea that was there. I was just watching the movie innocently one day, enjoying my Swamp Thing, and holy Lord, there's my teenage dream right there.
Right in front of your face.
Right in front of my face.
And certainly a much better product than this supposed air purifier, which, again,
probably
Swamp Thing or anyone else would have no use for. All right.
I bought that at Big Normus Video for $2.
Nice. We can say the real
I refuse.
Okay. The Hamilton Beach 44601 voice-activated coffee maker. Well, apparently this coffee maker just doesn't really work. Again, seems to be most of these products just are failures. They just don't work. The product doesn't work as intended.
I just love the thought of some person who owns this sitting there screaming
Yelling
at their coffee maker in the morning.
At 6 in the morning.
To make them a damn cup of coffee.
Yes.
And maybe smacking it around a little.
It's just, there are certain times, and this is a good example of this, where technology can just make something way too complicated when it doesn't need to be.
Nope.
The simpler way...
If you're too tired to flick a switch to start your coffee maker...
Yeah, it's not like you're getting up using a French press and making it all by hand and doing all that. I mean, maybe you are, I don't know, but electric coffee makers have been around for a while, and they've been pretty reliable.
And I have the Keurig, which is the most beautiful thing in the world.
You just put a little pot in, and then you
press a button, and there's your coffee.
There you go.
We're not getting paid by them, but we should be. Those things are awesome. Why do we want to get paid by them? I want them to send me more coffee.
Well, there you go. And certainly we would appreciate that more so than this voice-activated thing, which,
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Who needs a... I mean, I think, again, just because we can do something with technology, here's a good example, not to do it. Okay, so...
Another good example, Gulliver's Travels.
Yes. Jack Black, please.
Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should.
He needs to make a Tenacious D sequel. That's what they need to do. They need another D movie.
But nobody saw the first one but you and me.
I know.
Which is a shame.
Because it's actually really funny and a really good movie, and they should make a sequel to it. But what they shouldn't do is buy the Black & Decker Quick Press F975.
The F975, you say?
Yes. Apparently it's a really bad iron. It's a poor iron, and no one wants to have a bad iron. I don't want to have a bad iron. I love to iron, but I don't.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. I enjoy it.
You want to move in? Because I hate it.
No. Next on the list, the Slap Chop. What a shocker that the Slap Chop doesn't really work.
I can't believe that. That guy who was yelling at me on TV seems to love it.
I know. You know what? I think that's why he beat up the hooker, because she told him the Slap Chop didn't work, demanded a refund. He got mad.
But maybe when you're done screaming at your coffee maker, that aggression has to go somewhere, so it's got to go to the Slap Chop. You got to do something with that.
I'm going to chop this.
You'd be so angry. You'd just be slapping the Slap Chop, which I swear is not code for something.
What would what would you be? You're going to love my nuts. What would you be chopping in the Slap Chop? Actual line from the commercial. What would you be? What on earth would you be chopping in the morning in a Slap Chop while screaming at your coffee maker?
Something for your Denver omelet, perhaps. So some peppers or onions for your omelet?
But if you've got, you would think, though, if you've got enough time to prepare yourself an omelet in the morning.
You've got enough time to press a button on the coffee maker.
Right, to press a button on the coffee maker.
But maybe you have the time to make the omelet because all you have to do is say,
scream
coffee now.
Scream at the coffee maker?
Yes.
Martha, what happens if...
Your hands are there slap chopping things,
what happens
and you just yell at your coffee maker.
What happens if the coffee maker misinterprets some other sound to be, to be the command to brew coffee, and it just starts brewing coffee randomly while you're sleeping? You wake up in the morning, your entire kitchen flooded in coffee.
That's when Skynet wins.
Now you can't even get to the Slap Chop.
Well, my educated guess would be you put the water in the coffee maker.
Now you're not going to love my nuts.
I don't think you're going to have enough water in your coffee maker to put coffee all over your kitchen. I think you'll be okay.
Okay, fine, all right. Your logic
I don't think
again.
it plugs into the plumbing.
You know what I want to know? I want to know what people are putting in their Slap Chop while they scream at their coffee maker. Can we put that on Twitter? Can we do that? Our producer's being extremely quiet. It's a little quiet on Twitter tonight, is it?
It's the last day of the football season.
It is before the playoffs start.
So,
you know what it is? I think people are just out there slap chopping. That's what it is.
Could be.
Slap chop. All right. Slap chop, bad. Okay. Next, this one is another, again, where technology fails, and this is Purex Complete 3-in-1. Yes.
I actually like those.
I agree, but how hard is it to use, detergent and fabric softener in your clothes?
I can tell you exactly when you have to use a public laundry machine and you don't feel like lugging a big thing of laundry juice to your launderator.
To your launderator?
To your launderator.
Launderator? That's what we're calling it?
Launderator, yes.
I'm apparently doing the show with Mr. Burns now.
You can,
my laundry-o-matic.
You can just throw one of those sheets in there and you're good to go. One sheet as opposed to 3 bottles
Smithers,
of stuff.
place this in the clothes genie for pressing.
I no longer have to use a public washing machine, thankfully. But I did for a while, in college. And I would have killed possibly.
The only problem is apparently it just doesn't work as well as the regular.
It does though. I've used it. It works pretty darn well.
So
I actually disagree with this list.
You're disagreeing with this list.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So 1 out of 9. You think 1 out of 10 so far? You disagree.
1 out of 10 ain't bad.
Okay. This one they've got Burt's
I'm
Bees,
sure I would enjoy the slap chop.
Naturally ageless intensive repairing serum. Look, nothing that you put on your face is going to stop you from aging. Nothing is going to take away wrinkles or any of that. Maybe it helps your face with a little moisture. Makes you gives you a little moisturizer or whatever. But when you start to wrinkle, you're going to be wrinkled.
Well,
that's it.
Some mornings you just want to be moist.
I guess in those are the mornings you'd be screaming at your coffee maker while slap chopping something. Is that right? And then the last one is the clip-on off, the mosquito repellent.
Bullshit. I can't even believe that that's a thing.
Well, apparently...
Someone thought that would work?
Yeah.
What is that, going to circulate a fog of off
that's exactly what
you?
it's supposed to do. It's circulate the repellent around you, which, again, seems very dangerous to me, that you're going to be walking around in a fog of poison.
Like Pig Pen with a cloud.
You just had like a force field of insect repellent. Absolutely ridiculous. What a terrible idea. The whole idea of the insect repellent is it lands on you and it doesn't like what it lands on, so it flies away.
Yep.
It doesn't bite you. Not, I'm gonna put a force field on myself. I'm gonna clip a force field onto my belt of mosquito repellent. I mean, come on, give me a break. Really?
Awesome in theory, but that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
It is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Just wear a long sleeve shirt if you're that concerned about mosquitoes, for God's sake. I mean, really. So just bad products to avoid, and they all do seem like a bit of a waste of money.
Well, I'm still all for the laundry sheety thing.
The laundry sheety thing, the 3-in-1, of all the things on the list,
that's the one that
one that I could see possibly could have some use. It's too bad about the slap chop. It is. I wish that it did function properly.
But there's got to be a punk band out there called Slap Chop.
And they probably have a remix of a song where you just hear repeatedly, "You're gonna love my nuts. You're gonna love my nuts. You're gonna love my nuts." It's the best part of the whole commercial.
All right, moving on.
All right. You know what though? I saw. Speaking real quick, a little bit off topic, real quick. We're gonna go to Beans. We're gonna do the Beans list now. So this is where we're gonna do rock stars who or
movie stars who
want to be rock stars.
So it works the other way around too, and we'll talk about that.
Yep, they have the slap chop rap.
Told you.
That's great. Okay. All right. So yeah, forget that. Let's just get into the Beans list.
No, you were about to say something.
No. Let's just forget it. I want to get right into this because this is too good not to, and this is where people are going to get on the Twitter with us. So we're about to do our Beans list. We're talking about movie stars who want to be rock stars. And 877-404-0838 or on Twitter at Frank the Unicorn. Go for it.
Well, it's all started because of my secret shame. Something I deeply regret to this day. Something that darkens my soul.
We share the secret shame, actually.
I am ashamed to admit this publicly. This is the reason I don't use my real name on this show. Is because I happen to own and love Bruce Willis's The Return of Bruno. The Confession. I love The Return of Bruno. It's awful, and I could hear Fun Time every single day.
Yes. And for those who are not aware, in the mid-'80s, Bruce Willis, while he was on the show Moonlighting, former bartender, became an actor, whatever, he inexplicably, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they just came out with an album called The Return of Bruno.
And a movie. He did a rockumentary for HBO called The Return of Bruno.
And he had a whole bunch of music videos, too.
Yep.
I didn't know, The Return of Bruno, didn't know Bruno was around and had left.
That was the idea behind the rockumentary, was that Bruno was, a big thing at Woodstock and around that era.
Yeah.
And he was coming back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? I love the album.
He does a bunch of cheesy cover songs. It's not.
I tell all of you right now, it is awful, and I love it.
And please go listen to it.
And I don't mean I love it in like some ironic hipster way. I mean I genuinely enjoy it. I recognize that it's not any good. Still like it.
I listened to that album the last time I listened to that album.
For me, it was Tuesday.
1997.
Yeah, Tuesday for
98.
me.
I don't know.
This past Tuesday.
Okay.
For me.
This past Tuesday. All right.
Just saying.
Let's talk about some more actors who have failed as musicians. Now, I think there's certain ones we're going to exclude. We're going to exclude any of the I'm famous because I'm famous, so I'm going to do a pop star. Count. Right, so Paris Hilton, Lindsay
Kelly
Lohan.
Osbourne doesn't
Well,
count.
here's the thing. Kelly Osbourne bothers me because it's just her doing a cover song. You know, it's just so like, look, your dad's Ozzy Osbourne. If you want to do an album or you want to be a musician, you should be able to do something better than just a crappy cover of another song, I think, personally.
Agreed. So
the Kelly Osbourne thing kind of bothers me. That one bothers me. Now, this one.
Here's one where I genuinely wish I had picked up the album in the 80s.
Oh, my God. I wish you had too.
This is, we're talking about Don Johnson.
Heartbeat! The worst song, one of the worst songs ever.
Not only is it a terrible song.
He was banging Streisand when he recorded that song, too.
Not only is that a terrible song.
That's even worse. That's like drinking paint. You've said that on the show before.
It's got one of the worst videos you'll ever see. It's one of those videos that thinks it's a little movie.
Right.
Where he's like a news cameraman and he's in some war zone and singing about his heartbeat and doing the power fist every time he says the word heartbeat.
Yes, the power fist.
He does this thing where he makes a fist and moves his elbow in towards his body. It's the power fist.
It's the 80s.
So he can flex and sing at the same time.
He's got to force the notes out.
That's
got to pull down the energy from the universe to force the notes.
Now keep
from
in mind,
mouth.
Don Johnson smokes approximately 17 packs a day.
Almost as much as Mickey Rourke.
And it's horrible, and I kind of dig it.
I'm almost tempted to play it on the show and pay the royalty for it.
How long a clip can we play before we get sued?
Can we? I don't know. I think we're gonna.
We would have had to set it up beforehand, though.
No. Well, hold on. We may be able to do this. I think what we're gonna do, because I want to put it out there on Twitter.
Encourage people to Google it and find it.
Well, I would always encourage that, but I want to just go ahead and throw out the number.
If anything,
877-404-0838. We're talking about movie stars who have decided they want to become rock stars and have just failed. Just terrible.
I don't know if you can find the video for Heartbeat on YouTube or what have you.
Oh, it's there.
But my God, it's worth it. Uh-oh.
Play a little clip.
We get sued. It's worth it.
I love how they go to the negative aspect on that. Can't feel the heat. Here we go.
Elbow.
All right, I just had to do it. And
I just relived my childhood right there.
We'll post. We just lost all our listeners on that one. We'll post that on our website. We'll put the link up for the YouTube video.
I gotta watch that video again. It's been too long.
And the best.
If only that had been an extra on the Miami Vice DVDs, I'd have been very happy.
And the best part of the video, every time there's an explosion, which seems to be every time there's a drum, right? Every time anyone hits the drum, there's an explosion. They go to that real cheap, where they do the cheap effect of showing it as a negative.
Yeah.
Showing the film as a negative, which you would think by now people would know better than to do. Now, for me. Now, I know you love the Bruno. You love the Bruce Willis.
And I actually like this song.
I can't stand the song, but I love the man. And of course,
stand the song.
We couldn't have this list, and I'm going to play part of this too. Mm-hmm. We couldn't have this list without the immortal, the amazing, the incredible Swayze, because she is like the wind.
Through my tree.
Oh, yes.
I used to have this on cassette, and I enjoyed it.
I don't think you should admit that.
I admit it. I'm a child of the 80s. This is part of my life.
Oh, how much more of this can we play?
Since every woman I know was already out of my league, it just worked for me.
See, but I got to believe no woman is out of Swayze's league, right?
No. But he actually didn't have a half-bad voice.
No.
It wasn't quite as spectacular as...
come on. There's always, of course, the Leonard Nimoy singing The Ballad of Bilbo Baggins.
Sure.
Which, okay, you know what? That, to me, is not even him attempting to have a music career. When you look at something like Heartbeat Or you look at She's Like the Wind, which, by the way, was a hit song. These were hit songs.
I liked She's Like the Wind. If I didn't know it was
Yourself.
Patrick Swayze, that would have been a fine song.
But the thing,
it was a typical 80s power ballad.
But my point with those is that with those songs, they were hits, but which inexplicably.
Well, Heartbeat was a hit because Don Johnson was the biggest star in the world for about 10 minutes.
Well, and same thing with Patrick Swayze when that song came out. Same thing with Bruce Willis when Respect Yourself came out. He was at the top of his game as far as being a TV star. He was just transitioning into movies.
Yep.
But here's the thing. You get a sense with these where that seems like they thought, yeah, this could be another career point for me. I could launch a bigger career from this, whatever. Something like Leonard Nimoy, Legend of Bilbo Baggins, you know he's sitting around one day going, what, Shatner made a record?
Yeah.
Come on. All right, fine, whatever, I'll do something. And just for fun, and he puts it out there because, hey, he's Leonard Nimoy, he can.
Yeah.
These other
ones, the problem
though,
is I think George Takei hasn't.
No. Robot Embassy, The Hoff. Yeah, we're going to talk about The Hoff. He's on the list.
He is one of the worst singers I've ever heard in my entire life.
And yet, his singing career, I'm so grateful that Hoff has had this, that Hasselhoff, David Hasselhoff.
Because it gave us Norm Macdonald?
Because it gave us the joke, Germans love David Hasselhoff.
Because they do.
Which I still think is one of the best lines from Weekend Update. Of course, we've got our infamous Bruno here. This is Willis, Bruce Willis.
I forgot about the video.
And you're lip syncing. I love it.
I am.
You're absolutely lip syncing along and dancing. We've got a dancing beans.
We do.
Oh. Yeah, I gotta say, I feel like Bruce Willis should be fighting Hans Gruber and not necessarily playing a harmonica.
He should have been respecting himself.
He should have respected himself enough not to make the album, and I'm sure I'm not the first person to say that.
But I do love that song, Fun Time. That thing's a blast.
Pretty much writes itself.
Got a few jingles jangling in my pocket. Got a couple others that don't make no noise.
Boy. All right. Let's see who else we have on our list. Clint Eastwood apparently made an album.
Well, Clint Eastwood does the music for a lot of his own movies, and they're pretty darn good.
He does, but
what were the other three on that?
I closed it. They were like Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, you know.
Cause,
the woman from Real Housewives that made that terrible party song.
The other one is I was in a bowling alley a few weeks back.
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
In lovely Naples. And they're starting their little cosmic bowl thing where they play music. They actually had video screens above the lanes, and something I thought would get you murdered for listening to in a bowling alley, but no, they actually played it. I thought perhaps I was dreaming. Was Eddie Murphy's Party All the Time, which is, boy, is that awful. And it's a shame because Eddie Murphy can sing.
Eddie Murphy can sing. It's the genesis of Eddie Murphy and Rick James together in the 80s.
Something was very wrong there.
It makes me wonder, based on the Dave Chappelle skits and with the whole Charlie Murphy thing, I don't know how much of that's actually true, if that's any reality or not, but that had to have been occurring around the same time that they were working on Party All the Time together. Let's see, at Emily on the app, Jennifer Love Hewitt.
I had no idea.
That is a good one. Jennifer Love Hewitt is huge in Japan. In fact,
she's huge in several places.
Yeah, she is. Before she was famous as an actress on Party of Five.
She's an actress?
Yes.
I had no idea.
Before she and her breasts became famous for being on Party of Five and making movies about the Gordon's Fishermen, she
wow, those stunk.
Whispering to Ghosts. She was a pop star, teen pop star in Japan.
I had no idea.
Which is just wonderful. I'm actually thankful that Jennifer Love Hewitt has not attempted to replicate her attempted, and I'm using air quotes, singing career from Japan here in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah, Swayze. Wow. I mean, come on. All right. And apparently John Lithgow did an album for kids.
Kids album. Yeah, I knew about that. I've never heard it, but I did know.
John Lithgow is the new Raffi. Deep in Your Tonsils says
Bon
Jovi's failed at both.
And that's something I wanted to talk about, was because it also goes the other way around. There are rock stars who have tried to be actors, and more often than not, good God, they suck out loud. Mariah Carey's one. I never liked her as a singer either. Bon Jovi certainly one. The one I was thinking of in particular was someone who's actually a good rock star but a god-awful actor was Mick Jagger. For the three of you who have seen Free Jack.
Free Jack, yeah. Whew. Although, to be fair to Mick, he's been great when he's been hosting SNL.
Maybe, but...
So when he has an opportunity to cut loose, just be funny. He's not trying to act and actually follow the script. Oh, yeah.
Corey Feldman has an album?
Oh, Corey Feldman has more than just one album, sir. Corey Feldman tours with his band.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and in fact, yes, former child actor.
But he sounds like 10 Miles of Bad Road when he talks.
Yeah, and he has a thing for dressing up like Michael Jackson for some reason.
Does he have like
really
does he have like a Tom Waits thing going on with his voice? Because his voice is so gravelly in the movie.
I'm not sure, although that's another one to mention. Scarlett Johansson did a whole album of Tom Waits cover songs.
I had no idea.
Yeah, did a whole album of Tom Waits cover songs.
I love Tom Waits, and he can act too, which is nice.
That's true.
He's one of the few who can do it.
He's one of the two that can do both. Which the funny thing is that you would think, you would think hearing that, okay, that it would just be, people would think, okay, Scarlett Johansson, it's got to be terrible. It's actually not that bad. I think mostly because it's Tom Waits covers. If you're doing Tom Waits, you're already ahead of the game because you already are using good material. And
you're already playing some swordfish trombones.
Well, and you also have the opportunity to kind of go outside the lines a little bit. You don't have to kind of keep things necessarily as straightforward. When you're doing Tom Waits, you have a little bit more room to interpret things. Jennifer Love Hewitt released her debut album at the age of 12.
And I got to give Deep in Your Tonsils a little smack on the head there, because I do still dig Bon Jovi as a singer, but certainly not as a movie star.
No. All right. And, of course, David Hasselhoff is at the top of the list. You got to love the whole...
I don't think you do. I think...
He just does bad covers of, like, 70s pop songs.
I'm a man...
Releases them in Germany, and they're huge hits.
I'm a man who has a box of the complete Knight Rider, and I think that the Hoff is just one of the worst singers I've ever heard in my life. I watched his roast, and he came out singing Hooked on a Feeling.
Yeah, that's the one.
And I kind of wanted to pull my eardrums out of my spine. It was horrible. Horrible doesn't even come close.
What do you expect? It's Hasselhoff.
That's the problem.
Come on.
Is that Juliette Lewis I'm looking at right now?
He cannot fight this feeling. It's deep inside of him.
I've heard she's good. I've never heard her music outside of the movie Strange Days.
She's apparently, though, actually... She's apparently got some legitimacy though. They've made a few albums. Her band has made several albums.
They toured.
Let's see. Okay.
Stacey's Mail says Kim Kardashian, but I have to. I
don't think she's ever made a record yet.
I don't think she's an actress or a singer, so
she's not. Yeah, she's just a person. Again, she would be in the. Did she ever do a song? I've never heard of a song from her.
This is one I kind of like, and I'm going to tell you why.
Because it's Keanu Reeves, and the band's called Dogstar.
This is Keanu Reeves and Dogstar, but one thing I like about it is that he's not their lead guy. He's just their bassist. Like, he's not one of these dudes who's like, trying to be, the rock star frontman guy.
Like Jared Leto?
But he's just the bassist. I like Jared Leto.
Yeah.
But he's just the bassist, and he doesn't really, like, overdo it with the rock star thing. He doesn't, which I can kind of appreciate. So nothing against, it's not like it's the Keanu Reeves Experience with their hit single, Whoa.
Oh, my God.
I mean...
Wow, you just gave me a great idea.
Oh, God, no.
There we go with...
That's a funny picture of Hasselhoff, though.
That is
his greatest hit. There's an album out here, David Hasselhoff Greatest Hits. But I ask you, what are you supposed to do with the other 23 hours and 59 minutes of the day?
Apparently, Minnie Driver has a couple albums out.
She does. I've heard she's decent. She sang in GoldenEye, and it was kind of terrible, so I don't know. I hope she sounds better than she did in that.
This may be sacrilegious to say. I think most of GoldenEye was terrible.
It was.
I hate to say that. I mean, I love Bond, and that was great to see Bond back with that movie.
Yeah.
And I actively stood up and cheered in the theater on my feet when I first saw the trailer. Crazy Dave and I both stood and applauded and cheered.
Yep.
However, this is an appropriate title for this album. Apparently, Robbie Williams and Nicole Kidman did an album called Something Stupid. That's what that idea was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow is doing that whole thing now because she had that hit song with Huey Lewis, and now she's doing like a country movie, and she thinks she's a singer now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Woody Allen with his clarinet.
Yeah.
But he can actually play.
Well, that's just it. I mean, again, it goes back to, look, you're not going to become
It's not like he's trying to be a rock star.
Right.
You're playing a clarinet in a jazz band.
Right, exactly. You're not going to become a famous musician being a clarinetist, playing the clarinet in the jazz band. Just like when you're Clint Eastwood and you're doing piano jazz music for your album or for your movies, You're not necessarily trying, to cross over into something that you shouldn't be, which I think really is the spirit of what we're talking about. I mean,
I see we got the Blues Brothers on the screen now. I mean, Belushi could sing, man. Belushi was really good.
I have no problem with the Blues Brothers, provided you're talking about, Belushi and Aykroyd. I have a real problem with Blues Brothers 2000. And no offense, John Goodman, you're not a Blues Brother. You don't belong.
Right. Again, no Belushi. Billy Bob Thornton was on there a moment ago.
Yep.
He's kind of fun to listen to, his albums. He takes it way too seriously. I heard a clip not too long ago of him getting all pissed off at a radio guy because he was asking him about the music like it was a hobby, and apparently Billy Bob decided it was a career.
Oh, boy.
Which, listen to his albums, not a career.
It's a hobby.
But
you're known for... One moment, please. Excuse me. Just a brief message to Billy Bob Thornton. Billy Bob, you're known for a couple of things. One, you're known for being Angelina Jolie's crazy ex-husband. 2, you're known for Sling Blade. 3, you were in Armageddon. That's about it.
Yeah.
Bad Santa, I'll give you that. Beyond that, no, sir. No, sir. You're not a musician. Just stop. All right, back to regular programming.
We've got one that we have to talk about just because of this show, the Bacon Brothers.
Of course, Kevin Bacon.
So this week in the Bacon Brothers.
How are we not bigger fans of... I love Kevin Bacon as an actor. I think his band is actually pretty okay. How are we not bigger fans on the show of Kevin Bacon? Do we not have more Kevin Bacon-related programming?
I don't know. The album's a little bland for my taste. The only one I've heard is For Isoko, I think, which is their first one. And it's a little bland. Like, all the songs kind of sound the same. But I don't dislike it.
I guess I don't dislike it is about as good as we could say on this one.
Holy Lord, I'm looking at Telly Savalas.
Yes, you are.
Telly Savalas sings?
Yep. I
had no idea.
In fact, he
topped the single charts in the UK in 1975, the year of my birth.
With a cover of the song If. Which, if you're familiar with that song, it's a song by the band Bread, and you would not expect Kojak to be singing.
I wouldn't expect Kojak to be singing, period.
Yeah.
Eartha Kitt,
I mean, a lot of these
she's
are...
a singer.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a singer who dabbled in acting.
That's true.
She was a sexy, sexy Catwoman. I got to give her that.
She was the best Catwoman, right?
That voice.
Was it Eartha Kitt or Julie Newmar?
It was Julie Newmar, but that voice was nice.
Or wait, was it Michelle Pfeiffer?
Well, the suit was nicest for Michelle Pfeiffer, but as far as the performance goes, all about the Julie Newmar.
All right.
Lee Merriweather wasn't half bad in the 60s movie, though. Tracy Lords.
Oh,
wow.
Boy. We're just going to go right past that. I don't want to sully the show with that.
So I kind of want a copy of the album cover. Mila Jovovich? I had no idea. They refer to her as multi-talented. Wouldn't you have to have a talent first?
You'd have to have one at least, and then maybe add a second. Well, look, she can chew gum and tie her shoes. So
John Travolta. I bought a friend of mine his greatest hits album for her birthday because she was such a big fan of his music. She made me listen to it. Boy, I wish I hadn't bought that for her.
Wow. I'm just shaking my head. Mr. T.
Mr. T has an album on the cover of which he's wearing 2 different tube socks. That is fascinating. Clubber Lang sings.
Oh, my God.
Mr. T's Commandments, in which he told kids how to stay out of trouble.
It's a rap album.
Wow.
Be somebody or be somebody's fool. That's great.
That's the second album. He had Mr. T had 2 albums, and I've never heard either of them.
How did that happen? If you've ever heard a Mr. T album, if you've heard any of the Mr. T albums, or you have access to a Mr. T album, you need to let us know that. You can reach us on Twitter at
at Frank the Unicorn.
At Frank the Unicorn. And what I was attempting to do was get the 1-800 number because I'm not used to the 800 number. See, I'm used to using the other 800 number, but not the 800 number that we had.
Did we close it out?
We did.
Awesome.
Lindsay.
877-404.
Keep going.
877-404.
0838.
0838.
All right.
Burt Reynolds?
Yep.
He has a... Oh, God.
Burt
Reynolds
made himself an album. Yes, sir, he did.
Yes, sir,
Again,
he
though,
did.
it goes back to the same thing. Like, you got to kind of expect it. It's like Don Johnson in '86. At one point, Burt Reynolds was the most famous person in the country, most famous person in the world. So it would make sense that he would, make some kind of bad album.
I guess so. Did he perhaps promote it with that Playgirl spread?
I don't believe so.
Maybe he should have been holding the album at. Wow.
Don Johnson.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's the Essential.
We talked about Don Johnson, but there's an album there called The Essential Don Johnson. Does it only contain an episode of Miami Vice? And no music?
Well, it's got the one song. It's got Heartbeat on it, obviously, which, look.
It said there that he had several hit songs. How did that happen? I remember the one.
I don't think he had several hit songs, sir. I think these several hit songs was Heartbeat and then the Heartbeat Dance remix.
Plus his work with the Allman Brothers.
He
worked with the Allman Brothers.
Yes, he was a roadie for the Allman Brothers, is what it was. He briefly roadied for because it was, you know what it is? The Allman Brothers were looking for a new stage move, and he taught them the fist. He taught them the bring it in fist, the heartbeat, bring it in, pull it down fist.
With both arms.
That's right.
Yeah,
at the same time. And then, of course, we got the Gwyneth Paltrow. I mean, I'm surprised we're not getting more of these on Twitter.
Well, everyone's watching the football.
That's true. We got a call coming in.
Sweet.
This would actually be our local music guest.
Also sweet, because it is that time.
Yes, it is. It is that time. We're going to go ahead and switch over, and we're going to get into our music segment. This is Ed Wainwright, I believe. Let's go ahead and take this call.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, how's it going?
Hello.
Ed?
Cool. You actually hear me. Great. Wonderful night. Feel blessed to be on your show. Thank you for inviting me. Is this Frank?
Yes, it is. You got Frank and Beans. We got Ed Wainwright.
Yeah.
Right
okay.
now.
And the second guy, his name is Beans. Is that what it is?
That's right.
That's what it is.
Yep, you got Frank and Beans.
Beans. Well, I'm well familiar with beans. Let me tell you, as a musician, that's all I can afford to eat is beans and maybe a little bit of white rice. And I feel sorry for the people around me, but that's kind of like the way that it is. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you.
All right, and we got a couple tracks, Ed, from you. Give us a little bit of background on what you do and your style of music.
Well, I don't know. My style of music, I like to call it pop. I was very, very lucky. I made a CD that I used to play for open mics, and that's pretty much what I've been playing in the area. And I used to sing over them, and somebody was asking me to buy a CD, and I brought it over to this guy at Bubbler Sound, and I said, well, let me just line my tracks over what I'm playing. And the first song, once we were finished with it, he said that it wasn't going to work for his standards. He definitely wanted to tear the whole thing down and take a look at every single track and put it into place and engineer it for me, and he did this for me, and I have a lot to be grateful for him as far as that is concerned. My background, I like Hendrix. I didn't use too much of a guitar on this one. This one is it's all instrumentals and with the voice way over. I know. I think you'll like it. It's different.
All right. Stop fooling around. We got our caller on the line. I apologize.
Oh, okay.
Beans is getting me. He's trying to get me to play the track a little early. I know you want to hear it.
I do.
Everyone, I know you do. I know there's a lot of interest. Will you just give me a second? Calm down. We've got two tracks. We're gonna get to both of them. All right.
Okay.
And so
I'm calm.
oh well, no. I'm trying to calm down Beans here. He's getting a little rowdy in the studio.
I'm champing at the bit.
He's champing at the bit a little bit. He is. All right.
Chomping at the bit, huh?
Yep.
Well,
okay, so,
I do love the South Florida area. The South Florida area is a wonderful place to live. If you like to play out, there's always a lot of venues to play, which is really different. I came from the Boston, Massachusetts area. Not as many venues, not even close. Differences is, I guess, is always concerned about, the money aspect. There's a lot of us down here. It's wonderful weather. I was talking to my...
I was just going to ask, you mentioned playing out live. Do you have any shows upcoming? Do you have anything coming up where we can get some folks to come out? We can tell them to come out and see you live.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing at Chit Chats. Chit Chats has a Wednesday night. I'll just go up there, play for a little while. They're located up in Pompano Beach. It's a nice, quiet club. And other people who can play instruments are welcome to come up and play too.
I can
a
play
nice
the triangle.
club. Exactly. exactly.
Cool. And actually, you're a multi-instrumentalist, correct? Because you play all the instruments on your tracks. Is that right?
I play all the instruments on there. The only one that I didn't do and is programmed is the drums. But other than that, all the other instruments are actually live. They're not like it's not put together on MIDI or anything like that. They're all individual tracks, that I lay down. So much so that there is it will take a really trained ear to hear. There's a difference in the bass in one song, but I let the audience see if they can actually figure that one out.
Oh, my ear is well trained. I've got the wee pads to prove it.
That's true.
Yeah, okay, cool beans. The plate is down.
All right, so we're going to go with, all right, Ed, so what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do All About Love, and then what I'm going to do is at the end of the show, we're going to do If You Don't Want Me as a bonus for the podcast, if that works.
Okay, that would be wonderful.
All right, and like I said, just let's go ahead and let's get your website out there. If you've got your website and your Twitter, if you want to throw that out there so people can check out the website and then go ahead and follow you on the Twitter. Or you have Facebook,
sure.
Facebook, right?
Yeah, I have Facebook. I have a Twitter, and it's Edward Wainwright, and also a Facebook and a MySpace as well. So please come and join me.
All right, awesome. All right, cool. Well, Ed, listen, I really appreciate you calling in, and we're excited to have you on the show. I'm looking forward to playing both these tracks. We're going to do All About Love first, and then, like I said, we're gonna play the other one as a bonus. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ed, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I wish I could come on more often.
Well, we'll see.
Be a real ham.
We'll see how it goes. We have a music segment every week, so you never know. We do like to continue. We like to keep up with all our music guests that we have on. We like to continue to try to promote them, get people out to their shows, and also whenever there's new material that you have coming out, let us know. We'll be happy to feature it.
Cool beans.
Awesome. All right, Ed. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're gonna go
and
ahead.
You have a wonderful night and great success. And I wish you all the best. And thank you.
Oh, absolutely, our pleasure, Ed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, it's Ed Wainwright, and we're going to go ahead. It's a local music segment for the Frank the Unicorn radio program. This is Ed Wainwright with the song All About Love.
Let's get to it.
All right, we're back. And that was Ed Wainwright with All About Love. We've got some segments coming up. Looks like we're getting a call in. I'm going to get back to that in a second. We've got our upcoming segments. We're going to do.
We'll take the call.
We're going to take the call, but real quick. We're going to do How Unicorn Are You? We're going to do the top. I got a promo. We're going to do the top 25 sex scenes this week in Bacon, and then Nicolas Cage. What the H were you thinking? And let's go ahead and grab this call.
Oh, let's.
Yes, caller. You're on the horn.
Hello.
Hello, caller.
Oh, our first drunk dial.
I think it might be our first butt dial. Hello, caller. You're on the air. All right, no, we're gonna.
That's true. It wouldn't be our first drunk dial.
It wouldn't be our first drunk dial. We get a lot of the drunk dials.
Maybe they gave up waiting because we knew we had a call and just wouldn't go to it.
Well, we tried. We tried. We got to it, and unfortunately, they were no longer there. So let's get right into our How Unicorn Are You segment. We're going into that one, and if you want to play along, 877-404-0838, or on Twitter at Frank the Unicorn.
At Frank the Unicorn.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and play How Unicorn Are You?
Let's do it.
All right, let's see. First question. More important, now this is going to be kind of a theme thing where we're going to talk about the upcoming year. More important unicorn contribution to society and culture for 2010. Which of these was more important which of these contributions that we made to society and culture in 2010 were more important? Was it the fact that we were given an opportunity to play local artists and musicians on our show, or Squanto jokes?
I got to give it to the musicians because, dear God, I can't give it to Squanto jokes.
No? You think yeah? You think
that's a squant no.
That's a squant no? Ha-ha! Hey, look, there's a Squanto joke that got a laugh, and I didn't write it. I'm shocked. All right, yeah, okay. Okay, better idea Nice. Better idea for a musical, Pawn Shop Blues, where items that are pawned perform songs detailing the experiences of how they ended up in the pawn shop and how they can't wait to be purchased and be brought to a new home, or Cop Rock the Revival.
I'm giving it to Cop Rock for a couple of reasons. One, loved the Randy Newman theme song to Cop Rock, Under the Gun, for those of you who don't remember it. It was great. And two, Cop Rock was awesome. I don't care what anyone says. Peter Onorati was the man for doing Cop Rock.
I'm just shocked
if anyone doesn't remember Peter Onorati, it's because he starred in Cop Rock. But he was
there are 4 words.
Sort of the Chris Maloney of his day.
There are 4 words that I never thought in my life would be placed next to each other in this order in a sentence, and that is that Cop Rock is awesome.
And
I never thought.
I don't understand why we live in a world.
For those of you who are unaware, we should explain what Cop Rock is.
Do we have to? People don't know Cop Rock?
I don't think they might.
Because I was the only one watching?
I think, yeah. Cop Rock was a show. Was it 95, 96?
I think it was a little before that.
Was it before that a little bit?
Yeah, I was still living in New York. I think it was in the early 90s.
Stephen Bochco, and it was a cop show.
It was pre-NYPD Blue, I believe.
They sang everything.
Not everything. It wasn't an opera. I mean, it
was pretty close.
But they broke into song. It was a musical.
You got the right to remain silent.
Where the whole jury gets up in gospel robes.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Yeah.
It's great.
No.
Yes.
No. All right.
It is awesome.
Okay.
I don't understand how we live in a world where I can get any episode of anything I want on DVD. I can go out. I can leave the studio right now and go purchase an entire season of Punky Brewster. I can purchase the entire series of the Golden Girls in Sophia's purse. I wish I was making that up. It's true. It's the complete series set. Just came out.
Which
anyway,
is awesome.
I can go out and buy any season of Saved by the Bell I wish, but
you've never seen an episode.
But I can't get Cop Rock.
Because God is not that cruel.
I want Cop Rock. Shout Factory, if you're listening, you've got yourself an automatic buy.
All right.
I will personally buy several copies and give them to people I love.
Speaking of Cop Rock, all right.
I miss Peter Onorati. I think he needs to work more.
If you were on Cop Rock, 877-404.
If you are Peter Onorati, you're not doing anything else, call us.
Or tweet us at Frank the Unicorn. Okay. Let's see. Lifetime Achievement Award for better use of aviator-style sunglasses. Okay. Tom Cruise, Top Gun. Eric Estrada, Chips. Or David Caruso, CSI Miami.
That's a tough call because Eric Estrada made him look cool. But David Caruso gets to punctuate his dialogue with them.
What about Tom Cruise? What about Top Gun, The Need for Speed?
They might get in the way of his thetans. I don't know.
His body thetans?
Yeah. But I got to give it to Caruso just for consistently punctuating his dialogue with them.
I think I would agree because here's the thing. If Tom Cruise shows up and doesn't have on aviator glasses, you're not going to care.
Yeah.
If Eric Estrada shows up, doesn't have aviator glasses, you're not going to care. If Caruso shows up and doesn't do the sunglasses, why is he here?
Plus, I think Tom Cruise made the Ray-Bans a lot more popular than the aviators.
You're probably right.
Because the Ray-Bans in Risky Business were kind of the big deal with him.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll give you that. All right. Paula Abdul has a new dancing-related reality show because, A, people are that interested in dancing reality shows, and she is a talented and respected performer, or it's in her contract with Satan.
Got to go with B.
In her contract with Satan.
Got to be.
So let me get this right, Satan. I'll have a hit album. I'll have 2 hit songs. I'll be on a successful TV show, but then I'll have to be married to Emilio Estevez in the middle of all of it somehow? Is that how that?
She was married to Emilio Estevez? I honestly don't remember that.
Yes. And that was this. We've talked about that.
Forgot all about that.
That was sort of the iceberg that was the beginning of the end of the Titanic of Emilio Estevez's career.
How long was that? Like Wisdom era Emilio? I mean, how long ago was that?
That was like 92, 93.
Okay, so no,
Mighty Ducks era.
That was like Young Guns 2 era.
Post that, Young Guns 2 was 1990.
Was it really?
Yeah. Make you feel old. 20 years ago. Makes me feel old. Because you know who else was in Young Guns 2?
Bradley Whitford.
Was he?
He was.
He was. Yes, he was. He was Pendleton. John Bon Jovi. Sir.
He was. Bon Jovi was.
He was shot down in a blaze of glory.
He was indeed.
All right. Okay, so we're playing How Unicorn Are You? 877-404-0838. Here we go. Okay, fact. We're going to do a fact. Fact. Steven Seagal saves Christmas every year, not because it requires his actual intervention, rather because he simply chooses to allow it.
Okay.
No?
It sounds like a repurposed Chuck Norris joke, so
It could be.
I can't.
But Seagal's so much
I
cooler.
cannot accept
All right.
that, sir.
Who would win in a fight? Chuck Norris's beard or Seagal's ponytail? Who holds more power?
Probably
which
the
hair?
beard because it's had more screen presence. Seagal only had the ponytail in a couple of movies.
Yeah, but
it's all anyone remembers. But
the ponytail is that powerful, though.
But the beard was there through all of Walker, Texas Rangers.
That's true. That's true.
That's something we
the beard was Walker, Texas Ranger.
Something we should have mentioned in our Celebrity Rockstars thing was that the laconic, read, incredibly boring theme to Walker Texas Ranger that is sung by Mr. Chuck Norris.
How do we not mention Seagal with the Rockstar with the?
I mentioned him in when I sent the thing to you. Yes,
he's got to be kind of top of the list, right?
Yeah.
Seagal is actually a very respected guitarist.
He is.
Believe that or not.
And actually not a bad singer, which is surprising.
It is
surprising. Because he has such a weird speaking voice. He doesn't try to sing with a million accents, though. That's why. Which is a shame. If he put out an album with his accent from Machete, I would buy 3 copies right now, sir.
He would no longer be the Mojo Priest.
No.
All right. Okay.
Man, I so want to watch Cop Rock right now. I miss Cop Rock. I'm talking about other stuff, and all that's in my mind is, man, I want to go watch Cop Rock.
All right. More anticipated.
I wonder if I can find it online.
I'm sure you can. If you know where to find Cop Rock, please call us, 877-404-0838, or tweet us at Frank the Unicorn. Okay, more anticipated trend for 2011, predominance of coral rose, or orange, as the in color, or fact that long skirts are in, meaning women may not be dressing even sluttier than ever before for the first time in 47 years.
That's not going to happen.
No, really. Apparently, ankle-length skirts are the in
Doesn't
thing.
matter. So they'll end up with plunging necklines that go down to their navels.
They'll wear a belt. There'll just be a belt for a top.
Right.
Yeah. Was that so bad? I don't think that would be so bad. We live in South Florida. It's not that hot. They don't need to. It's very hot. They don't need that much clothing, right? All right. Well, because we're going to be talking about sex anyway.
Oh,
in just a few minutes. All right. Better New Year's resolution for 2011.
We're going to be talking about sex in a few minutes, and all I can think about is Cop Rock.
That's great. Wow. Better New Year's resolution for 2011.
What does that say about me?
Strive to be more understanding in my day-to-day dealings with people and to exhibit the patience and respect for other people that they deserve. Or no more second pizza during bi-monthly visit to Chuck E. Cheese.
But how else are you going to lure the children to your table if you don't have a pizza?
It's true.
I mean, why else are you going to Chuck E. Cheese?
With skee-ball tickets, dude. Duh. You get way more kids with... Anyway.
Wow.
Okay.
Is that your van parked out front?
That's your van.
Nice windowless van out there? That's yours?
Yeah, okay. Odds that any or all of the following occurs this year on the Kardashian show. A, someone gets pregnant. B, someone poses naked. C, someone makes a sex tape. D, someone gets married or divorced.
I've never seen the Kardashian show, so I couldn't tell you.
Those are all the plots of every show.
You watch a Kardashian show and you're mocking me for liking Cop Rock?
I have never seen the Kardashian show, yet I know these are the plots that they will have because there's nothing else for them to do.
But I didn't really know who they are until that SNL thing showed up, so I got nothing.
All right.
I'm an old man who's out of the loop. I'd rather sit in my Barca lounger and watch Cop Rock.
You're setting it up nicely. Okay. More disturbing possible trend in 2011, plethora of potentially disastrous superhero movie summer, or return of 1980s fashions.
I have nothing against either of those. I like superhero movies. I even like bad superhero movies. So I'm all set for, Green Lantern and Thor and all that stuff coming around.
Here's my thing, though. This is why I have a little bit of fear about it, because there's so many coming out this particular year.
Only 2 that I know of.
There's like the Green Hornet, the Green Lantern, Thor.
Green Hornet is coming out next week, so that's not a summer thing.
Well, during 2011 for the whole year, let's say. There's a lot of comic book movies.
Other than Thor and Green Lantern, what else is there?
We got like 3 of them, let's say. That's a lot of superhero movies for 1 year. 3 superhero movies in 1 year, big budget, that's a lot. My fear is just that if these don't perform or they underperform, we're not going to see any more superhero movies for a long time.
Oh, we are. I can guarantee we are, because they've got the Spider-Man reboot in the pipeline for next summer.
Is that the one they're doing with the cheap Chinese knockoff Spider-Man?
I wish they were. But no, they're doing it with a British guy, with Brian Garfield playing. Andrew Garfield playing Spider-Man.
Terrible idea.
I think it's a good
Spider-Man
idea.
should be played by a New Yorker. Next.
Except he's being played by Andrew Garfield.
Next.
Who's a good actor.
Should be New Yorker. Next.
Scott Martin Sheen is Uncle Ben.
Yeah, they should. Yeah. Exactly. They need to keep it as a New Yorker. Next.
I'm all for it. You got Superman, the Man of Steel.
You're a New Yorker. You should want
summer 2012.
You're from New York. You should want Spider-Man to still be a New York.
It's set in New York.
He's a New York hero. He should.
Is Tobey Maguire from New York?
I don't know.
Okay.
He ain't British though.
I have no problem with Andrew Garfield.
He doesn't eat eel pies. Let's put it that way. All right.
Maybe he should.
Maybe. All right. Well, I don't know. Maybe he does eat eel pies. I don't think he does because he's vegetarian. So eels aren't vegetarian. Yeah, right. Okay. Maybe he eats ochre pie. I have no idea. How do we even get on that?
No idea.
Doesn't matter.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
All right. Better topic for ongoing show segment: best worst scenes or vajazzling, the fan submissions.
I kind of like best worst scenes, but that's the kind of stuff I like talking about. Vajazzling, I think there's only so much ground we can cover with vajazzling.
Well, there's a very limited amount of ground.
That's what I'm saying.
You know.
I like how you're doing the hand motions right around your crotchal region.
Right around my crotchal region for all to see except just you.
Yes.
All right. Okay, we just hadn't mentioned vajazzling. It's been a while since we talked about it. I wanted to throw it in on the show. Okay. Let's see. More promising development for upcoming shows, continuation of live broadcasts, or puppets. Are you more excited for 2011 for this program to be doing live broadcasts or to be working with puppets?
I'm all about the puppets.
I'm all about the puppets, too. I'm jacked about the puppets.
We're getting puppets.
Puppets are going to be awesome. Can't wait for the puppets. All right.
I'm a puppet-loving guy.
And then a last one here. Next wave of reality shows based on, this will be the next wave of reality shows will be based on either EMTs, right, rescue workers, or the rough and tumble lives of road maintenance workers.
Well, a lot of the road maintenance workers are prisoners, which should make for an interesting show. So I'd kind of be all for that. I would almost rather watch that than the EMT show. You know, I would like even more a reality show based around whatever television executive greenlit Cop Rock.
I was just gonna say, you Cop Rock. That's what you want, right? You want a revival of Cop Rock?
I do. A reality Cop Rock would be even better. Teach some cops to sing and give them a camera.
How about that? How about a reality show for the search for the cast, the next cast of the new Cop Rock?
The problem is,
and they have to be cops that actually sing.
The problem is that would become All American Idol-y, and you'd only get like bubblegum pop songs in Cop Rock, whereas Cop Rock used like gospel and rock. Oh, it did.
Cop Pop. How about that? No. Pop Cop. Cop Pop. No.
That sends the wrong message.
Is Cop Rock a TV show?
Cop Rock was a TV show. Yes. Or you could also call it a pile of fecal matter.
It was a wonderful television program.
It was possibly the worst show ever made.
I believe on the CBS television network.
CBS indeed.
Petitionsonline.com/coprock has a petition to put it out on DVD because it's never been released.
Sign me up, sister.
We want all of our listeners to go. We're going to post this website. We want you to go and sign a petition to have them release Cop Rock on DVD so that we can make fun of it.
If we can get Betty White on SNL, we can get Cop Rock on DVD.
That's right. And you know what else? We should work on getting us on SNL. We should host SNL.
Yes, we should.
Why shouldn't we host SNL?
I couldn't tell you. My childhood dream is to be the one to say Live from New York it's Saturday night.
Unfortunately, I would pull rank on you, and I would have to say that myself.
I would punch you in the eye, my friend.
I'll make you a deal right now on the air. All our listeners, this is going to be on podcast, everything.
I don't have to be anywhere else on the show. That's all I've wanted to do.
If in some miracle or some alternate universe or something, aliens come down, I don't know, something happens, Seagal takes hostages, whatever it is, if we end up hosting SNL, I will make certain that you get to say, Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
What's in it for you?
Dude, we get to be on SNL.
Don't I have to promise something?
No. What the hell do you have to promise?
This feels like a deal with the devil.
Well,
I will take it, sir.
It's a deal with a unicorn.
Badger-sling.
Okay, badger-sling sounds like a ladies' gymnastic routine.
That would be vagirsizing.
Yes, vagirsizing, yes. We were talking about vajazzling, which is, of course, gluing the rhinestones to your lady parts, which, you know what, I'm curious if any of our listeners are vajazzled, 877-404-0838. Or if you have
What
been,
about if any of our co-hosts are vajazzled?
Well, you wouldn't be. You'd be penazzled. See, because it's the...
All right.
If you've glued rhinestones to your crotch, 877-404-0838, or Frank the Unicorn on Twitter. We want to know. We want you to call and tell us
Frank
the Unicorn on Twitter. We want to have that information. We want to get all the information about that. We want to know what that's all about.
All right. Is it time to talk about sex
now? It's time to talk about sex. We're talking about the top 25 sex scenes in cinema history, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot of this on Twitter.
In cinema history.
Cinema history.
Voted on by who?
Voted on. This is from IFC.
The Independent Film Channel.
This is from IFC, so there's some legitimacy to this. I'm sure we're going to come up with our own list. People will have their own submissions. Let's just go right down this list. Number 25. A lot of these, and I picked 25 because a lot of these we haven't seen. I haven't seen, so we're going to go right past.
Okay.
Okay. We'll mention them, but we're going to go past them. Unless you've seen them.
And then there were a few that we were talking about before the show.
That might not be in here that we're going to
want to include.
Okay. They've got number 25, Female Trouble, with John Waters.
Which I've never seen because it's a Divine movie.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I haven't either, but apparently Divine has sex with himself.
Lovely.
But, I
actually like John Waters, but...
Yeah. Number 24, The Cooler.
Was that the one where I had to see William H. Macy's sack?
Yep.
All right, I've seen that.
That would be the one. I don't know.
He had like a dice tattoo going on?
I have no idea.
It's fascinating.
That's fuzzy dice. There you go.
Indeed.
Now this one, I gotta say, is a little shocking to me. This is on this list this high. Brokeback Mountain, number 23. I understand. It's an iconic scene. It's kind of the only time you're gonna see, or one of the only times, or a few times you're gonna see two A-list hunky male actors getting it on in a tent, I guess you could say.
And hey, why not?
But I don't know how I would define that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little, I don't know.
Straight?
Exactly, yes. But it doesn't bother me to have that happen. I mean, go for it, guys, if that's what you want to do. Sure.
Hey.
You want to get some Heath Ledger, Jake Gyllenhaal, you knock yourself out.
You do knock yourself out.
Well, be careful not to knock yourself out because you know what he's going to do to you if you. Anyway.
I don't know what this next movie is, but it looks kind of terrifying.
The Wayward Cloud, yeah. It's just a photo of a woman who appears to have a watermelon between her legs.
Not appears. That's a watermelon.
That's a watermelon, right? Like a half a watermelon. Okay.
A juicy, half-carved watermelon, according to the listy thing here.
Yep.
And it's like all in white, and the only color in the whole scene is that bright watermelon. What's the name of this movie?
This is apparently the very first shot of the film, The Wayward Cloud. The Wayward Cloud.
And they refer to it as a pornocopia. So take from that what you will. I think I like that word, pornocopia. Can we hashtag that, even though it's not ours?
We should.
Pornocopia.
And then number 21 they've got on this list is The Kiss. This is from 1896. This is an 18-second short that was produced. Come on, that's not a sex scene. That's sex in 1896.
It was in the 1800s.
Yeah, in the 1800s, sure. All right. Number 20. Now, this one may have been higher on this list for me.
Bound. I think I have to take off my pants now.
Yeah. Please don't. Bound. Gina Gershon, Jennifer Tilly. Wow.
David Your Tonsils gave us Puppet Sex from Team America.
I would agree, and I'm pretty sure...
It's a great scene.
And I'm pretty sure it's going to be on this list. Sex and Lucia, number 19.
Sex and Lucia.
Sorry. Number 19.
Never saw that, so I couldn't say.
Me either. Number 18. This is the one that, when I said we're going to do this segment, almost everybody that I discussed this with mentioned this scene.
Unfaithful. Oh, yes.
Oliver Martinez, Diane Lane.
I kind of wanted to move in with Diane Lane the second I saw this movie.
I apparently am going to have to watch that.
Adrian Lyne did the movie, and he's been known to do some sexy movies. He did your Indecent Proposal. He did your Fatal Attraction. He did your remake of Lolita. And good God, Unfaithful is hot.
Okay. All right. We're talking about sex scenes, and we want people to let us know on Twitter at Frank Unicorn or 877-404-0838. Number 17, Body Heat, between Kathleen Turner and William Hurt.
The coolest thing, she throws him out of the house, she locks the door, and he can't open the door, so he grabs some of her porch furniture and hurls it through the door to get to her, through the glass door.
And then does her right in front of the broken window.
It is hot as hell.
And Kathleen Turner was very attractive.
Back when Kathleen Turner was hot as... Oh, that's a shame.
Take it from us, kids.
Yeah.
There was a time in the early 80s when Kathleen Turner was a sexy, sexy woman.
Holy Lord, yes, she was.
Yes, instead of being a large, large man. Okay. Number 16, Coming Home.
I've never seen that.
I got to tell you, it's bizarre because, for one thing, it's Jane Fonda and John Boyd.
She was Barbarella, man.
That's true. He's in a wheelchair. It's just a bizarre, and it's a very heartbreaking, very sad scene. Very good scene, though. Very good scene, but very sad and very important for the context of the movie, which is why that nudity is not gratuitous, as we discussed last week. Okay. We're talking about the top 25 best sex scenes in films. And again, a lot of these I haven't seen. Apparently, I'm going to have to go back and watch.
Apparently, yes.
All right. Number 15. Now, this one's funny because there's a remake to this movie, which is one of the worst films ever made.
Yes.
Number 15, Get Cartered.
The original is great.
Original.
Not talking about the original when he says worst. The remake was awful.
Yeah,
but the original was darn good.
Sylvester Stallone,
Yeah, but this
2000?
was Britt Eklund, no?
I believe that's correct. Yes, it was Britt Eklund.
Hello, Britt.
And now, of course, we've got Team America World Police.
With a great photo of the puppet sex.
Yes, that is a great, great photo. It's very graphic. What's funny about this is that they overdid the scene so much because they knew the MPAA was going to cut it, or they were going to tell them to cut it. They were afraid of the NC-17, and they knew. He basically said he just threw stuff in he didn't even want in the scene because he knew they were going to cut it down, and he wanted them to have so much to cut. He wanted them to be able to leave him something to use.
And then they put it all in the unrated version anyway.
And they put it all, and then they put it all out there anyway.
And
it's
boy, is it filthy.
It's probably the filthiest thing I've ever seen.
I think it's why we're getting puppets.
It's not why we're getting puppets. But
that's why I'm getting a puppet.
Let's put it this way. We talk about Meet the Feebles on the show.
Yeah.
For those of you who've seen Team America World Police, that one scene with the puppets where they're, in the unrated scene where they're doing all pooping on each other and all that kind of gross stuff, where you just watch that and say to yourself, I can't believe I'm watching puppets do this. I feel so uncomfortable.
But thank God you're not watching humans do that.
Right, but it's so hilarious because it's puppets.
Yep.
The entire film of Meet the Feebles is exactly that same feeling.
Yep.
It's that same feeling for an hour and a half. But yeah, that is a great scene. And I think it's a great, and again, it just doesn't, you couldn't do that without puppets. But the other part of it is that, because they just went so over the top with it because they knew, how many problems it was going to cause. You got to respect what they were doing with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what else we got here. At Robot Embassy, A History of Violence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. Viggo Mortensen and who was the lady in that?
Diane Kruger.
No.
No. Hold on. Wait.
I can't think of her name. It was hot. First time I've ever seen what they did in a mainstream motion picture. It was yeah.
No, didn't they do that in Basic Instinct? Was it?
No.
I don't think so.
There was no penetration in Basic Instinct.
No, it wasn't penetration. It was what the kids would refer to as the 69. Which you never see in a regular motion picture.
No, you
but
don't.
My goodness.
No, you don't.
And I sure did. I went to see that movie with my dad. And I was not expecting that.
That has got to be a comfortable...
Maria Bello, thank you.
That's got to be comfortable to watch.
I saw Basic Instinct with him, too. And that was uncomfortable because I was 16 or whatever I was when that came out. But, this was much more uncomfortable.
All right. And Be a Bunny and At PRD of Rage both give us Black Swan. We knew Black Swan would be on that list.
I haven't seen Black Swan yet.
Kind of the inspiration for... I haven't seen it either. I've seen that scene.
I haven't.
Kind of the inspiration for why we're even doing this. Okay. Number 13, and you had mentioned... Our producer had mentioned this one. I'll let you pronounce it. Go ahead.
Y tu mamá también.
Sí. De nada.
Which is quite sexy.
I've not seen the film, so can't say.
You should.
Apparently
it's a good flick too.
Apparently I need to. All right. Number 12, The Night Porter. Have not.
I've seen it and I was not a fan.
Okay. Number 11, Ecstasy.
Okay. From 1933. Don't know it. Haven't seen it.
Yep. Don't know it. Haven't seen it.
Likely the first sex scene in a non-pornographic film. It said so. Make from that what you will.
All right. Number 10.
I'm surprised to see that on there, but I'm happy to see it on there.
Number 10.
Young Frankenstein, which it is a very funny scene. Sweet mystery of life, at last I found you. It is funny. My little zipper neck.
It is quite funny, and it's such a great movie. It's nice to see it on the list. Although it's odd, you wouldn't think that of all the lists that a top 10 of something where Young Frankenstein might show up, the last one you would think would be on sex scenes. You wouldn't think that would show up in a film of top sex scenes. You would think it would
that
be
is true, but
top comedies or whatever.
It's a good call.
It is. All right, number 9, The Big Easy.
Can't really say I enjoy it, only because there are a few people I find as off-putting as Ellen Barkin, which is my own thing. I'm sorry for that, Ellen, if you're listening, but don't like Ellen Barkin. So
that's my response to that. I like Ellen Barkin.
It's actually not a bad movie and not a bad scene, but I'm not.
Sea of Love too could have been, if you want to talk about Ellen Barkin, good sex scenes. You could add Sea of Love in there. I mean, she did some good movies.
Maybe I just don't like her.
Okay.
And there's no reason for it. Like I don't know why I don't like her, but for some reason she just doesn't do it for me.
Okay. How about this? Now I don't think you've seen this one. Number 8, The Secretary.
I have not seen Secretary. I've heard many things about it, but I have never seen it.
It's disturbing because there's so much fetishism involved with it that it's not a sex scene in a traditional sense of, oh look, these people are getting naked and having the sex.
Bed is covered in grass.
Yeah, well, it's more about what he does to her when she's in his office and all the assorted weird fetishy things he forces her to do. And it is erotic. It's just not a sex scene in the typical sense, although the whole movie itself is very,
Well, probably my favorite movie sex scene ever is from a movie that no one's ever seen. It's a comedy called The Tall Guy. Have you ever seen this?
Jeff Bridges, yeah.
No, Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum, sorry.
Jeff Goldblum and Emma Thompson, and they're smashing plates over each other's heads, just like getting stoned. They're having sex on the piano, and it's a really funny scene, and it's good stuff.
So you apparently like to break dishware while you...
No, but I thought it was hysterical that they did. That they just got so she grabbed a plate and just smashed it right over his head, and he doesn't even notice, and it just keeps on going.
Because that's what I like to have happen when I'm having sex. I like to have people throw things at me and break stuff.
I promise you, it's a funny scene and a funny movie.
I will.
And it includes my favorite insult of all time, which is, "I hope all your children have very small dicks," and that includes the girls. Love that line. I've used that 1,000 times.
I can't.
Oh, come on, that's a funny line.
It is a good line. Okay, number 7, My Beautiful Laundrette.
That's the one with Daniel Day-Lewis, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that is a gay...
That's another dirty gay sex scene,
That's a dirty gay sex scene, it is. with Daniel Day-Lewis looking as if he were Vanilla Ice with the hair.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. And then number 6, I have not seen this, Betty Blue.
Never even heard of Betty Blue.
French romantic drama.
As they refer to it as one of the nakedest, craziest movies. So
with the novelist,
I think I'm going to need to rent that.
The novelist Zorg and his doomed paramour Betty.
I'm sorry, Zorg?
Zorg.
Oh, no, that's Zurg. I was trying to think of the Toy Story villain.
Yes, Zurg.
I was afraid that maybe Tim Allen was going to show up in this movie.
Great. They spend most of the movie nude and or going berserk, and the opening scene depicting a good minute of shrieking, shoulder-gnawing. Wow, okay. Apparently, the opening scene is an entire orgasm scene with her shrieking and
okay.
Out. Which, by the way, we're going to be doing the worst sex scenes next week.
Indeed.
Because you can't talk about the best of something and not talk about the worst of something.
So we get to talk about Steven Seagal next week.
We do, and we get
Hard to Kill,
and Elizabeth Berkley, and all kinds of great.
All right.
Yeah.
Set your internet TiVo things.
That's right.
Whatever you do.
Let's see, we got a few more here coming in. At LadyBell45, American Psycho. Really?
That was a weird little sex. I love that he's like watching himself in the mirror the whole time.
Right, yeah. I mean,
don't just look at it. Eat
it. Okay. I will say this: one of the most disturbing and horrifying sex scenes you could possibly imagine.
But man, it's such a good movie.
Let's not forget that's the one where it ends with him throwing a chainsaw at a woman.
But I do love his little Huey Lewis dance earlier in the movie.
Yes, and when he's looking at himself, flexing his arms and stuff, and he's like making the lips. He's doing the face to himself in the mirror. Yeah, that's right. That's he's giving himself the nod.
He was so great in that.
That was great. All right, at Deep in Your Tonsils, Wild Things.
Of course.
Well, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's of course talking about Kevin Bacon in the shower.
God.
I'm sorry. Was that not what he was talking about?
I don't think so. All right. At My Lover 3, The Story of O.
Sexy.
Unfamiliar with it, but okay. All right. So we're getting some good submissions on this. This is a good topic. All right.
Daniel Day-Lewis is all over this.
He is. Daniel Day-Lewis, one sexy dude.
I've never seen The Unbearable Lightness of Being, but maybe I need to, because that's a naked Juliette Binoche I'm looking at right there.
It is, and also Lena Olin, too, is in that as well. So you can't go wrong with some late 80s Lena Olin.
No, you can't.
All right.
Through Romeo is Bleeding, nothing wrong with Lena Olin.
No. All right, number 4, and this is one we...
PR Diva Rage gave us The Beach. Was that Leonardo DiCaprio movie?
Yeah.
I don't remember any sex in
I don't either.
Of course, I don't really remember that movie.
I remember the video game sequence in the middle of it, which was great. That was a really funny little touch, but I don't remember any sex. Number 4, Risky Business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Early 80s... Okay, look.
Rebecca De Mornay before she became unbearable. Yeah.
Rebecca De Mornay in the 80s was so hot.
Uh-huh.
And especially in Risky Business.
Even in the early 90s, all the way up through the remake of The Shining, she could do no wrong, and then all of a sudden could only do wrong.
Which is just bizarre.
It's a shame.
She had a Seagal-like fall off to her career. Very sad.
The hand rocked her cradle.
It did. Although, I mean, come on. She's and again, she's been in a lot of movies where she's done the crazy sex type thing. None better than Risky Business. None better than Risky Business, right?
Yep, I'm with you.
Guido the Killer Pimp. Okay. Number 3, Mulholland Drive.
Yes, and I firmly have to disagree with Mr. David Lynch because he did a horrible thing. It is a sexy, sexy scene, and when he put it out on video, he blurred parts of it because people were taking screen captures of it and posting them to the internet, and it bothered him because he didn't want his actresses to be fetishized in that way. So he blurred out their naughty bits on video.
So
which, if I want to watch it with blurred naughty bits, I'd watch it on Fox.
Right. Let me understand this. You don't want your actresses to be objectified, yet you put them in this sort of lesbianic, exploitative...
Yes. And if you have the DVD, I assure you, you can't go to the chapter because there aren't any, because David Lynch is such a nut job about his movies that he doesn't feel they should have chapter stops because it's not a book, it's a movie. It should be one big experience. So good luck finding the scene. But once you get there, take a look and you'll see the naughty bits are blurred away.
That's just terrible. That's just terrible.
It's a really good movie, and I'm happy to own it, but that was pretty disappointing.
That would be extremely disappointing, especially considering, the heat in the scene. And the fact
they
that
even mention it here.
A little bit
points lost for the digital blurring of Harry's genitals.
Nice.
Which wasn't to appease the censors, because they were there in the theatrical. But he did it for the video. But man, it was a hot scene.
Interesting.
Weird little movie too, as if you have to say that with.
I was going to say David Lynch. Yeah. Number 2, A History of Violence. Here we go. With David Cronenberg. David Cronenberg movie. All right.
I love Cronenberg.
At Lovely Lady. Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down. Yeah.
Never seen it, actually.
Yeah, it's a Antonio Banderas movie.
Mm-hmm. I know of it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, that's a pretty sexy bit in the beginning with the opening scene with with the little remote controlled sub and all that. So History of Violence on here is number 2.
Mm-hmm. And man, that was. Whew.
And then number 1, Don't Look Now.
Which I almost hate to suggest to include there because, yes, it's a hot scene, but oh my God, that movie is horrifyingly dark. And the last scene of that movie is one of the scariest things ever put on film.
Is that the one with the blind lady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very creepy little movie, and yes, the scene is sexy, but it's just such a dark, 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 dark movie that I can't imagine being aroused by it at any point in life. Because all I'm doing now is waiting for that ending. Once you see it, you can't think of anything but where it's all going. So.
Interesting. I myself have not seen it. Apparently I need to.
It's a horror movie. It's got one of the all-time great, shock endings. And you can't even, But there were a few others that we'd wanted to talk about that weren't on the list. Oh, and here's another one coming to us now. Live for 373, Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights, yes.
The whole movie is.
I was just going to say the whole movie is one giant sex scene. Which sex scene are we talking about? Are we talking about the?
I would think Roller Girl, just because Heather Graham just doffs her clothes and goes right to it.
Just goes right to it. Just goes on. Or what about Julianne Moore?
Julianne Moore.
Because he ruins the whole film, basically, and then, oh, that's no big deal, I'll just do it again. Which is like, what? Oh, okay. But plus, that's the first time anyone sees Marky Mark's, you know.
Well, you don't see that till the very end of the movie.
I'm saying, no, in the context of the film, that's the first time any of the actresses are aware of what he's got, you know, what's about to happen to them. Let's see. All right, we got more here. Okay. At DVD Tonsils, Monsters Ball.
Such a depressing movie. I couldn't even enjoy it.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like, again, I think, you know, the one.
It's kind of an ugly sex scene in Monsters Ball. Like,
of course, Billy Bob Thornton's in it.
I know, but I'm not. I mean, obviously Halle Berry, not ugly, but the scene itself is just so ugly and angry and no.
No?
Yeah, I can't.
Not doing it for you.
But the one we were talking about before the show started, Fear. The one with Marky Mark and Reese Witherspoon on the roller coaster. I believe our producer agreed.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
My goodness, that's a scene. Who boy, is that a scene?
Getting it on a roller coaster.
Holy Lord, is that a scene?
All right. I mean, there's, you know, you go back and look at, I mean, there's a huge number here. I mean, I'm surprised that Madonna wasn't on that list. What about the one with William Dafoe?
Because Madonna has never done anything sexy on film.
That's true.
No, that's not true.
Oh, no, that's true. I saw Body of Evidence.
Body of Evidence on the car when they knocked
There's
out the
nothing
light.
sexy.
Is Body of Evidence going to be on next week's list as being one of the worst?
I mean, there's nothing sexy in that movie.
Is it going to be the worst, or is it going to be in the best for Body of Evidence?
Nathan Rabin wrote a great review of it that should read that and you'll see what I mean.
Robot Embassy, Little Children. What? I don't even know what.
Is that one with?
It's a movie with Kate Winslet, I think.
Okay, all right. Elfmatronics. At Elfmatronics, Fatal Attraction. Yes,
it was
the elevator.
And on the sink.
In the elevator and on the sink.
That was pretty hot.
Again, though, now you watch it, and all you can think is, this bitch is crazy. This is not worth it. This is not worth what he's doing.
Yeah, but
she's insane.
It's still pretty hot.
Plus, it's Glenn Close, dude.
I thought she looked good in that movie. I know she doesn't have any. I know you're making the horrified face. At least she wasn't singing.
I'm making the face where, if I were in the ring and I saw the film, you know, I saw the videotape and they found my dead body with my face frozen in horror.
Yeah. That's
the face I was just making.
But the
I just had sex with Barbara Streisand face.
My problem,
the I drank paint face.
My problem with Body of Evidence was that even while Madonna was doing all that stuff, she looked bored, and so was I. I'm sorry, but I couldn't. I can't agree with you there. I apologize.
That's all right.
Maybe you won't like Cop Rock.
Is that
Maybe I won't.
What tweet?
Pimp It to You 33.
What is it?
Pimp It to You 33.
Pimp It to You 33, 8 Mile, and now this one I do agree with. Cruel Intentions.
Oh, I forgot it.
Yeah.
I forgot about Cruel Intentions.
Yes. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Selma Blair making out.
Yeah.
Sign me up, please.
I forgot about that.
No, really, sign me up.
Yeah.
Please, I want to go there right now.
Okay.
We got our
that must
scary
happen.
little Bea Bunny with her.
Yep. Okay. What about Requiem? Bea Bunny. What about Requiem for a Dream? It was crazy but good. Ass to ass. Yeah. Okay. Requiem for a Dream.
Sex in Requiem for a Dream.
Here's the thing.
I just remember Ellen Burstyn going, "That's for pills."
Here's the thing. In Requiem for a Dream, partially because it's Jennifer Connelly, and how can you go wrong with Jennifer Connelly? Oh wait, you can't. Okay. Yes, it's extremely hot to see her in that scene, you know, doing things with another woman, you know, all this stuff. However, the reason that she's there and why she's doing what she's doing, remove any pretense of that actually being sexy.
But you want some hot Jennifer Connelly action?
Oh, I know what you're going to say. The hot spot.
That's right.
Another damn Don Johnson movie.
Don Johnson is all over this show. But
the Don Johnson show.
But damn, she looked good in that movie.
She did look good in that movie. Jennifer Connelly looks great in every movie.
Yeah.
Jennifer Connelly looked good in The Rocketeer.
Yes, but The Rocketeer, even though she's pretty much playing Betty Page, it was PG and she had to keep her clothes on.
Right, but even so, I'm watching The Rocketeer going, this movie really sucks, but man, she is really attractive.
I like The Rocketeer.
Why?
Because it's fun. It's a throwback. It's enjoyable. Leave me alone. I like Cop Rock. What do I know?
Bill Campbell must have naked photos of you. That's why you like The Rocketeer.
That's not why I liked it. I mean, it doesn't hurt.
So you don't.
But anyway,
so you don't deny it. All right.
She loses the clothes in the hot spot, and
she does, and she loses them significantly in Requiem for a Dream.
It's a good flick, Hot Spot. It's an underrated movie that people don't really remember.
Well, Requiem for a Dream is a great movie, and I agree that scene could have been.
I didn't really like it only because it was so depressing.
Well, that's why that scene for me is not very sexy because, she's there doing this because she wants to score heroin that she's not going to get, and not even for her loser boyfriend Jared Leto.
Yeah.
And
he was busy with his band.
Right, and it's just like I can't get into that. I can't look at someone being exploited in that way, even if it's on film, and find that to be attractive. It just doesn't work for me. Then again, it's just too depressing and frightening to watch.
Understood.
Okay, we got about 15 minutes left. We're going to leave this thing open, right? We're getting a lot of stuff on this. We're going to leave this open. We got to talk about bacon, and we got to talk about Nicolas Cage. Okay?
Okay. At the same time?
Not at the same time. But we're going to leave open for the top sex scenes, so you can still send this to us on Twitter, or you can call us with those, 877-404-0838. Okay. Okay, and so I got handed one, and then he took it back to give me another one. Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's fine. And in the meantime, while we're taking those, we're still going to go ahead and we're going to discuss.
Here we go.
We'll do our bacon segment, and we're going to talk about Nicolas Cage. What do we got?
Oh, yeah. At, what is that, Mamma Mia NC-34?
Yes.
Last Tango in Paris. Excuse me, I have to go get the butter.
I was just going to say, it's funny because while I was doing the research for the best, looked at the worst as well. That was voted the worst.
Really?
Yes. Not because of, and also at Rowan Embassy.
Because of the cholesterol?
No. All right. The sex scene from Bad Santa. Yep, that's a good one.
Yeah. I like
no,
your hashtag there.
The reason it was voted the worst is because of the monologue he's doing while he's doing this to her.
He's Brando. He's gonna have a monologue while he's buttering you up.
But here's the thing.
Why bang Brando if you don't want to hear him talking to you?
He's sodomizing this woman using butter as a lubricant. I'm saying this as PG as I can.
That can't be good for your cholesterol.
And he's railing against all the problems of modern society, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. The problem with this modern society is that Marlon Brando is sodomizing me. That's the problem.
Deep in Your Tonsils gave us Alyssa Milano and Poison Ivy.
Also,
Embrace of the Vampire.
Embrace of the Vampire.
I knew you were going to say
that. Yes, much more nudity. If we're getting into that, Molly Ringwald and Malicious, okay.
I've got that on VHS.
I know
right
you do. I know, and it took too long for that to happen, Molly Ringwald.
Is that, by the way, on DVD? There's one I've never found on DVD.
I don't know.
If I had it, it would be freeze framed. I would just have
that one. Yeah. Okay.
Just posted somewhere in my home.
All right. So let's do this. We'll keep taking those tweets on that, but we're gonna talk about bacon real quick. One of the this week in bacon. So I was thinking of delicious items and delicious things, and I found that there are people out there making bacon s'mores.
That sounds disgustingly delicious.
Yep, it's very simple.
Chocolatey bacon.
You get your graham cracker.
I got my graham cracker.
You got your graham.
I got my graham.
You get your marshmallow. You get your mallow. You get your chocolate.
Marshmallow.
Before you put the other graham on top, you slide a little bacon in there.
Now, I assume this is pre-cooked bacon because your campfire is not going to cook bacon enough to keep you away from trichinosis.
Oh,
make sure this is cooked bacon.
You can absolutely cook bacon on a campfire.
Not in a s'more. No, you cannot.
You can cook it on the campfire, and then when it's done,
that's fine. I'm just
yes.
letting people know you want to cook your
right,
bacon
of course.
Before you insert it in your s'more.
We never want anyone to raw bacon.
You say, of course. You're
right. There are still warning labels on on hair dryers. Don't put this in the.
There are warning labels on Starburst to unwrap them before you eat them.
That's true. You're right.
I mean, we live in that kind of world, so
you're right.
I'm just saying.
Cook your bacon.
We don't want you to have intestinal parasites.
Okay.
Because those are worse than cop rock.
I don't know. Cop rock may be worse.
How dare you, sir? How dare you,
sir? The intestinal parasites sing cop rock songs.
I said good day, sir.
Indeed. All right. And then now this other one, Wired.com did an article where they've invented a robot. Now I don't know why this I don't get this, but they've invented a robot that will identify what it is you're feeding him. So you can give him any type of cheese, any type of wine, any type of food product, and he will tell you...
An electromechanical sommelier.
Yes. He'll tell you that this is what this is, okay? Someone decided to be smart aleck, put their finger in the robot's mouth, and the robot responded that the human finger that was bacon. So apparently to this robot, human beings taste like delicious, delicious bacon.
That is terrifying.
What's more terrifying is someone else, another reporter, stuck their finger in the robot's mouth. It identified that person as being prosciutto, which is a type of bacon. So, you know, either you're bacon, I guess that guy was Italian.
Ba-dum-bum.
Come on. How terrifying is it that we taste like bacon? Human beings taste like bacon. That's scary, but it explains the success of Soylent Green.
We are one step... We are one step away from Skynet. I was going with a more recent sci-fi film reference, but I think you win that round.
Yes, sir. All right. Soylent Green is bacon. No, it's actually people, and people just taste like bacon.
Way to ruin the ending. Now don't bother watching Soylent Green.
Well, whatever. Don't bother watching it anyway. Charlton Heston's in it. Okay.
That's good flick.
Well, now this leads me to the question: how long until we start seeing products like People A's?
That's just gross.
Come on.
I think your producer just threw up in my chair.
Come on. Come on. Little.
Why are you looking at my crotch when you do that?
Buy Cop Rock on DVD and get a free jar of People A's.
I would buy Cop Rock on DVD even if it came with People A's.
You'd have to eat the People A's.
I would.
Okay.
That's how important Cop Rock is to me.
That's how much it means to you?
All I know is it's going to be one of those things like that I loved when I was a kid or enjoyed when it was on because I wasn't that much of a kid. It wasn't that long ago. But I know it's not going to hold up.
Like Alf?
Yeah. Sadly.
Although the behind-the-scenes clips of Alf are really, really funny when he's using profanity and such. It's really
I've never heard that, but that's awesome.
You've never seen Alf dropping the N-word?
Nope.
You've got to see Alf dropping the N-word.
How can I see that?
It's funny. I'll show it to you on YouTube after
please do.
we're off the air. Okay. So and now I'm actually gonna push these guys to next week because we have another thing for This Week in Bacon. We're gonna preview it a little bit. There's a thing called Epic Mealtime, and you sent me the link. It is genius, and we're gonna dedicate a bigger segment to them next week for our This Week in Bacon.
And a thank you to Badass Digest for pointing them out to us.
Yes, and we'll mention that as a little preview so you know what to expect next week. When you're going to get the worst sex scenes of all time, and you're going to get This Week in Bacon with Epic Mealtime. We're going to talk about those guys. But let's do this, because we've talked about it a couple times, this Nicolas Cage. We're going to do Nicolas Cage, What the Hell Were You Thinking? Because there's this very famous clip going around right now where Nicolas Cage apparently freaks out in front of a Romanian nightclub on this couple. We don't know the context of it. Now, that's the thing that concerns me.
Who needs the context?
But we're going to play this. It's about a minute long. It's a little tough because it's totally, probably like a cell phone camera or something. So it's a little tough to hear. But we're going to play this real quick, see if you can make this out. This is Nicolas Cage.
I just want to point out a lie in this article. They say that Cage directed the upcoming action film Drive Angry. That is not true. Patrick Lussier directed it, and he needs more credit.
Okay, all right.
So screw this article.
All right, so
I just wanted to throw that out
let's just play this
like
Let's just play this. This is Nicolas Cage freaking out in downtown Bucharest.
Okay.
If it loads. Here we go. Yes, he did. Hold on. Okay, so here's the thing. It's hard to understand what the heck he's saying.
I wish the subtitles there were in English. I see the story about Bon Jovi next in whatever language this is.
Italian. But, okay, here's the thing. We've been able to interpret a couple of things he says. He calls someone brother at some point. He referred, which to me is just him talking like an old 80s wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay?
Come on, brother.
He says, get in that car and walk away. I'll effing die because of honor. I'll effing die right now. And see my eyes. Respect them as you'd respect me.
Nice.
What the hell?
I don't know what that means, but I want to know.
All right. Here's my thing. And this
Get in that car and walk away is actually a pretty funny thing to say.
It is. Get in that car and walk away is hilarious. Here's what I'm going to say. A, I don't know if this is Nicolas Cage because you don't see his face. You see him from behind, and he's doing Nicolas Cage-type movements. He looks like he's in the airport in Honeymoon in Vegas. Obviously sounds like Nicolas Cage. But here's the thing. We don't know the context.
But it's kind of scary that in this day and age, you can't get away with anything anymore.
Well, that's just it.
Everyone's got a camera in their pocket.
That's just it. Everyone's got a camera in their pocket. But here's the and that's the problem with this, is that we're here talking about this. People are making fun of him online on this. They're joking around about it, whatever. My thing is this. Nobody knows the context. And why I want to ask Nicolas Cage what the hell you were thinking is not for freaking out. Because you know what? You may have had a very good reason to be freaking out on those people. I don't know.
Maybe they saw Ghost Rider.
Maybe they did. He was apparently there filming Ghost Rider too, so maybe there was some issue with that. But here's my thing. Yes, what you were saying was particularly hilarious. Get in your car and walk away. Come on, that's hilarious. Yeah. Okay. Look in my eyes, respect them as they... What? Come on. What
I don't know what that means.
What are you doing?
But
it doesn't. No one does. It's Nicolas Cage. You know what I would have said? I would have said, all right, Osweepe. We're good. But the problem is, yes, we don't know the context. We don't know what they did, what happened. We don't know why he was freaking out like that. That could have been a scene in the film. We don't know. We just have a cell phone video. And that's why...
it's not a scene in the film, because you wouldn't be dropping that many F-bombs in a Ghost Rider movie.
Well, you never know.
They're going for a PG-13.
Are they?
It's not going to be... It's a Marvel comic movie. He's got
a flaming skull for a head, and they're going for PG-13. That's good.
First one was PG-13.
Yeah, well, first one was also...
Awful.
Well, yeah.
It ain't Blade, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's an all-ages comic. They're going for PG-13.
Okay.
I guarantee.
My point is, we don't know the context of that one. So I'm gonna actually give Nicolas Cage a pass, but I'm gonna say, Nicolas Cage, this video's gone viral. I've not heard you come out to try to explain your position on this at all. That's a mistake. Nicolas Cage, what the hell were you thinking?
There you go.
Give us some context.
Before the show ends, I see we got a couple more tweets.
Yeah, we do. At LadyBella45, Eyes Wide Shut.
There was some sexy stuff in that movie, but it's so very cold.
And
it's hard to... Though I do love that opening scene where Nicole Kidman just drops her dress. Love that.
I love any opening scene where anyone just drops a dress.
But Nicole Kidman, particularly with her back to the camera, no, nothing wrong there.
All right. Let's see. This is... I can't read that. Over my... What is that?
Over my ears in it.
Over my ears in it. Okay. Crank. Jason Statham.
I mean, it's more a comedy scene than a hot sex. I mean, he has to keep his adrenaline up.
Right.
So he bangs Amy Smart in the middle of the street. And then in the second movie, he does it in the middle of a racetrack because they weren't repeating themselves.
That's a way to do it.
As a horse leaps over them, and you get a full-on close-up of horse penis. So you got that going for you. And Crank 2, high voltage.
And she's laying there going,
yeah.
That's a hell of a thing to try to compare to. But anyway.
Sure is.
At Pimp It To You 33, Swim Fan.
I've never seen Swim Fan, but they may be right. I like to assume that since that is the last movie I can remember that Dan Hedaya was in, I like to think that he was involved with the sex scene somehow, because that only makes it sexier. It's
actually just Dan Hedaya wearing nothing but sock garters and black socks and shoes masturbating. That's the whole scene.
Only in my dreams. Am I sharing too much?
Oh, my God. I think you might be. All right.
Watching Cop Rock.
Dan Hedaya. Freaking Cop Rock. If I would have known Cop Rock would have been such fertile ground, I would have brought it up a lot sooner. Wow, I would have made a lot of effort. We have got to find Cop Rock somewhere.
We've also got to find Dan Hedaya. I want to know what happened.
We got to find. Okay, we're on a mission now. If you know where Dan Hedaya is, probably hold up watching Cop Rock. 877-404-0838. We've only got a couple minutes left on the show. We've got another one here. Okay, yeah, we're gonna finish this one out. We're gonna mention now again next week. We want y'all to tune in next week, next Sunday, 7 to 9. We're gonna have a continuation of the best sex scene segments, but it's gonna be the worst sex scenes.
Yep.
And we want to mention that we're very excited for our event coming up, our live broadcast, February 13th at World of Beer. We can officially announce now at the end of the show that Luna Rex is going to be the band playing that show.
Sweet.
We're going to have them in a little bit later this month to do a live in-studio segment and then at the same time we're gonna have them playing live during that live event, and we may have a second band available as well. We're not sure on that. We're working that one out, but definitely Luna Rex is involved, which is great. They're a great local band. They've got a huge following, so it's going to be very exciting to have them there. And we're grateful again to World of Beer and to Luna Rex, to Sophie Bella. We want to mention them as well.
SRK Advertising.
And SRK Advertising for all has done a great job with our invitations, business cards. We want to thank them. We'll have our T-shirts next week. So we know we had some winners on T-shirts. Be patient. We'll get them out to you. Those should be arriving next week, so you definitely want to tune in next week because we're going to have some more giveaways as well.
And someone out there, please, find me Cop Rock.
We need Cop Rock, okay? If you can find Beans Cop Rock, we will give you a special prize.
I will happily live tweet watching it.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. A live tweet watch-along. Maybe we'll do a watch-along party. All right, that's about it for this week's edition of the Frank Unicorn Radio program. Keep in mind we're going to have some bonus material on the podcast. We're going to have Ed Wainwright. We're going to play If You Don't Want Me on the podcast. That's going to be coming up in about 20 seconds or so, which you're not going to hear live, but that means you're going to want to download the podcast. And don't forget, we're going to be on next week as well, Sunday night, 7 to 9 p.m. Check us out online, frankunicorn.com. We are out.
Bye, everybody.